2. He's going to go for the knock. Goes for the roll now. And he's spotted Sivio. Looks for the clip, but he's not going to be able to get it. Jumps out instead, but goes down.
Moving forward, trying to get a better position using the smoke's advantage. Drives straight in.
Out instead, but goes down. Now it's just Mortal alive. Poor soul in a 1v1, but he cannot do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PUBG Mobile Club Open, the semi-finals of the Spring Split. I am PC Peasants Gaming and I have Crips here with me, my co-caster.
Hello Venom, how are you doing today? Do you prefer Venom or do you prefer PC Peasants?
Let's just go with PC Peasants and Uncle PCP and stuff like that.
Don't do that to yourself, bro. Don't do that to yourself.
Anyway, we've got an exciting day 3 coming up next, and yeah, I'm gonna let you take it away, Crips. Who are the teams playing today, and what are your predictions?
Well, my predictions for the day are pretty standard, just like usual. So I'm expecting the teams who were not doing so well yesterday, I expect them to perform today because they have obviously gone through whatever happened yesterday, and then I'm assuming they've learned from their mistakes. So let's see who are at the top and who are not. Marcus Gaming leading the charge with 130 points, and second place is VSGCrawlers with 86. So that's a massive difference right there.
Right.
Umumba surprisingly coming in third. They did not have the best of group stages, but here they are with 84 points. Then fourth is Fnatic. As expected, it's the audience favorites. We have other teams also in the mix, and now we are looking at the page 2 of the overall standings. Right?
Yeah, we've got Megastars, of course, who are going to be playing today. Team Insane, Icky Mafia, the boys of Icky Mafia, a team that I'm quite a big fan of. And who else? We've got Aim Gaming, Godlike, Lifecraft. Mayhem's also playing today. So they haven't had the greatest start so far, but let's see how they perform. Team -40 also playing today. Crowd favorites for most of the people in the live chat. I believe -40 is from the state of Andhra. So a lot of the Telugu fans are definitely rooting for them. But the teams, of course, that I'm going to be keeping my eyes on today would be Mayhem, ELMT Esports, 7Seas Esports, and of course Orange Rock. Orange Rock is playing today. Let's not forget about them.
Yeah, Orange Rock have some of the strongest players in the country. Even they haven't had the best start to the tournament, haven't they? Like Mayhem, Aztecc, Orange Rock, all these teams who did surprisingly really well in the group stages just failed to show up in the semi-finals. And now, as we are approaching day 3, this might just be the last time that they get to prove themselves.
And I think they will prove themselves. Orange Rock is a team that has consistently proved themselves in the group stages. Of course, yes, all the top teams did not perform so well in the semi-finals, but I mean, now I feel Orange Rock will take things seriously, and they will try to get the chicken dinner and the kill points to climb up, because they need to be in a top 16 situation for them to make it to the finals.
Yes, and the way to get to the finals is to get as many points as possible. So let's just quickly explain how the point distribution system works. If you get the chicken dinner, you get 20 points. If you finish second, you get 14 points. You come third and you get 10 points. 8 points for coming fourth. 7 for the 5th place, and so on and so forth, all the way up until 10th. After which you get only 1 point each. So you need to be in the top 10. In fact, even that's too low. You need to be in the top 5 in order to get a decent amount of placement points. And 1 kill is 1 point. So you need to mix it up with a decent amount of placement points and some decent amount of kills. You combine them to get a nice point total.
Yeah. And Miramar is out of the map pool today. We've got Erangel first, Sanhok second, Vikendi third, and then Erangel again as our match 4. And all these teams are going to want to perform as well as they can. And have you noticed there is a trend? The team that generally wins the chicken dinner tends to have between 5 to 10 kills at least. So they tend to get at least 30 points, which is a huge jump in the standings.
Definitely. And sometimes even the teams that don't end up getting the chicken dinner have a decent amount of kills. Like we saw yesterday, Team UMExRxN, when they won that game, they had decent. But then the team that they were fighting with, I think it was either Mega or Mayhem. It can't be Mayhem. It was definitely Mega. But they also had a decent amount of kills. So the top two teams usually end up having that. Either way, Group C, Group B and C will be playing today. And in Group C, we have teams like Mayhem, Elements, AIM Gaming, 7Cs, -40, Lifecraft, Icky Mafia, and Celts. Now, Mayhem haven't having the best of time, but they are a really good team. Elements, also a nice team, but they somewhere hover around the middle, so they should be safe. AIM Gaming and 7Cs have really, performed well so far, and I'm happy with them.
Yeah, even Team Cells had a pretty decent run, and of course, let's not forget about teams like Godlike, who are also quite gifted. Aztecc Esports, another team that is quite exciting to watch. They had some early wins in the group stages, but we've not really seen them do much in the semis so far. So that is another team that I would encourage the viewers to keep tabs on.
Well, yeah. So other than these, other than the teams that we are trying to keep eyes on, what else do you think we have in store for us today? Do you think most of the teams will go on and take those early fights fearlessly in order to desperately grab points, or are they going to continue playing it safe?
Well, I think they are going to go for the points. I think they're always going to go for the position. I think most of the teams that have been winning the chicken dinners so far have always had the circle favoring them clearly. So we saw yesterday Fnatic didn't have the circle a couple of times, and so they got eliminated. They're not going to want to make the same mistake today. And on the screen we have ELMT Esports and 7Cs Esports head to head, with 28 kills to Element and 21 to 7Cs Esports. Both these teams playing really well, and we've seen some very good pushes from these teams, a very aggressive gameplay. So yeah, I'm quite excited to see how they perform in today's matches.
Definitely. These both teams, they are not considered to be as good as Fnatic or Mayhem, but then this is the one time that they would want to prove the people wrong. They would want to show the people that, no, we cannot be taken lightly, and we are indeed a top-tier team. And this is the chance they have to prove it.
Yeah, absolutely. And circles, it's all up to the circle, really. And a lot of these teams have gotten screwed by the circle in some of the maps, and that's why they haven't played the position the way they expected to. But let's see if these teams actually, maybe go for the aggressive pushes early on, get the compounds that they need, and get the circle prediction correctly.
Yep. On screen, we have the stats for 420 OP, one of the players of 7Cs, and Prince from Team Elements. Now, Prince used to be this one player for Team Insidious, who then was imported into Team Elements, and he's represented the country internationally. And he is one of the carries of his team. So he's got 9 kills, and that's the same as 7C's 420 OP. But the damage is much, much higher on the 7C side. So even though these stats show that both these players are somewhat on the same level, Prince, I think, has more experience because he's been representing the country internationally, and he's been to more than just Indian tournaments. So I guess that experience helps.
Yeah, we saw some great gameplay from 420 yesterday, in fact. Especially in Miramar, and the way 7C sort of gatekeeped Marco's gaming. But I just got to talk about what the hell is Ketan wearing? That sweatshirt, I need it in my life. Can somebody from the Tencent team maybe ship Crips and I that beautiful leopard print PUBG Mobile sweatshirt? Oh,
it's too bright, right?
It's so bright. I would peacock with that sweatshirt any day. I would love that. But yeah, coming back to the teams that are playing today, we're going to see some great gameplay from all these teams. And this is a very interesting lineup. Mayhem, Element, AIM Gaming, 7Cs. We've got Icky Mafia, Orange Rock, Aztecc, Godlike, Megastars, who also were performing really well. We saw some interesting pushes from Team Genocide. JSL, of course, like a team that always manages to protect Pochinki. So yeah, Erangel is going to be definitely exciting, and it'll set the bar for the matches to follow.
Definitely. And I'm not sure about the bar, but the plane path is definitely low in this one. Look how skewed it is towards the south. I'm hoping most of the teams go for military base because we have barely seen any military base action in the entire tournament.
Yep.
Most of the times the teams that do end up getting to military base are left all alone and they have a gala time looting and moving across without a worry in the world.
We got Mayhem
yeah.
going towards Primorsk, which seems like a pretty safe idea. Lifecraft, I believe, is also jumping, but they are, I think, going towards the farm side of things. And JSL looks like they're committing to military. We've got Elves going all the way across hospital. So a lot of teams have opted. Insane, AIM, they've all opted to go towards the Georgie side of the map. And even Mega are jumping off above Novo. So let's see what these players have in plan. Iki Mafia going towards Milta. So yeah, it looks like Mega's going to be taking Novo. So they will have a good loot, and the circle's also on the screen right now. It's not a bad circle for most of these teams since they've already committed to Pochinki, Georgie, and most likely I think Orange Rock is going for Razok. Let's see how these players played out.
Yeah, but most of the teams who are heading for George Pole, they were a bit too far away from that city, so they have to gonna glide their way in, or they just land somewhere on the street, find a car, and hope that they can quickly get a car and get to George Pole before anyone else gets there. Either way, I was hoping to see JSL versus Godlike in Pochinki because that's always a fun thing to watch, but JSL have gone for military base this time, and once again they are alone.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, they don't have anyone else. JSL don't usually go for military base. It's widely uncontested. Meanwhile, Mega or Novo, they've always been there. They have never moved out of Novo, so I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah, and we also got Team -40, M40 near the Western Bridge connecting Millie and the gas station. So maybe they could gatekeep those two teams that will be trying to rotate into the circle, that is Mega and JSL. And meanwhile, we've got, of course, Team Genocide on the screen right now, which is which is the hospital apps. And they seem pretty uncontested, so they will loot to their heart's content.
Yeah, they got to South George Pole pretty quickly. Insane got to South George Pole dockyards. But surprisingly, we've never seen the teams in South George City and South George Dockyard fight each other. They only fight each other when they have to like move into the circle, and this time they don't have to. So yeah, once again, this is gonna be a pretty calm and not so noisy spot, as there won't be a lot of gunshots around. Team Elements at the southern edges of the main island. I think this is somewhere near farm.
Yeah, and we've got, of course, Team Insane taking over the containers of Georgie. I believe this is just called containers. So this is again a nice loot spot. You get decent loot here. You get a few vehicles as well.
More than decent. You get quite a good.
Yeah, we've got Iki Mafia committing to Yasnia on the northeastern side of the map, and I'm not sure what Team 11, which is Lifecraft, I'm not sure what they're doing there. They're also probably committing to Yasnia. But Yasnia is a pretty big place to loot, and we've historically not seen any fights, early fights break out in Yasnia.
Yeah, out of all the games, we have only seen like one Yasnia fight. That was between Iki Mafia and I think it was Orb Elites, that too in the group stages. That was the only fight I remember seeing.
And what do you think, Crips? Like, which is the position that teams will want to take? Maybe Everest or maybe Gatka for that central position, just so that they get the circle prediction correct?
Yeah, I think Everest is a pretty safe spot to take. Once you're done looting, you just get up there and you control pretty much all the northern side of George Pole, ruins, and the Watertown and everything. Watertown is just a bit too far away from Everest, but yeah, fine. You at least have an idea. You can't take fights, but you know what's going on, and it's always easier to go downhill rather than going uphill. So even if the teams who are on Everest have to come out of there, if they're forced out by the circle, they shouldn't be in that much problem because they can see where the other teams are. They can safely avoid them and everything.
All right, so we have Zerif, of course, one of the best players in Iki Mafia. Zerif and Neonike, I have a lot of respect for them, and we've seen some amazing plays from these teams. Iki Mafia, of course, not having the greatest gameplay in Sanhok, but Erangel is a map that they do seem to be doing quite well in. And of course, Godlike took Pochinki. I wonder where they're heading.
Yeah, they're getting out of Pochinki. They did not need to. They could have stayed there and continued looting, but I guess they got a bit bored, so they just decided to get out and entertain us. Do you think they'll probably go to school or Rozhok or something to get fights, or are they just trying to hunt for information? I mean, it would be
Seems
really
like
bad to see them get
reconnaissance.
knocked out.
Yeah, I do believe that they're hunting for information. Looks like they're just doing some reconnaissance here and there, trying to get a feel of the map, see if anybody's nearby, and maybe potentially scouting for compounds where they can set up shop and play defensive.
Yeah, but historically, Godlike has never taken compounds. They just build fortresses out of vehicles in the second circle. I mean, that's the stuff you're supposed to be doing later on in the game when you're at the 5th or 6th circle. But they start doing it in second circle itself, and that's probably one of the reasons why they've had trouble surviving and getting into the top 10. Yeah, I'm not sure if they'll be going for the same approach today, but yeah, I mispronounced same and accidentally called it safe. I guess that also fits because they never ever play safe. So yeah.
AIM Gaming, again, another team that has been playing quite well. They've had some amazing Sanhok rotations yesterday, and yeah, they've just been playing consistently well so far. They don't seem to be too high up in the overall standings, but they are safe. So let's see if AIM Gaming can keep up the pressure, keep up the energy that they have. They've historically also had some decent rotations. And yeah, they're definitely a team that you want to keep your eyes on.
More than that, Elements. You know, the funny thing is, I never understood Team Elements and how they avoid team fights up until the last circle. You see, they are in... It's not like they play it safe, okay? They are somewhere near the fights. But they just somehow don't seem to get affected by it. It's almost like they wear this little invisibility cloak and they know how to take advantage of the chaos and move around safely. That's such a really nice quality to have.
Yeah, and they also have some really good players like Gubber, who was clearly the kill leader for the group stages. I'm not sure whether he's the IGL or not, but if he is, whoever the IGL is for Team Element is doing a great job. Okay, we have the circle on the screen right now, Crips.
Yeah, JSL, they are staying at the bridge. I think they might have spotted a couple of M40 players. And okay, they're safe. I thought M40 was nearby. They were gatekeeping the bridge, but JSL have surprisingly made their way in. Now, this is going to be a problem for Team Mega, who also have to take the same bridge. So yeah, we definitely will see some of those fights.
Yep, and M40 has moved upwards towards the cluster of houses in near a gas station, so they're not too far away. We can probably see a fight break out, but Mega is dangerously close to that bridge, and they're going to have to rotate through the bridge. Will they rotate through the bridge, or will they take the waterfront and then maybe dock themselves as ferry pier? And the circle has changed. It is quite a central circle. We've got Gatka, of course, at the center point. So yeah, a lot of these teams seem to be in the circle, and you can see very clearly that Godlike and Aztecc are trying to play for that central position.
I guess only Rozhok School and North George Pole were knocked out of the circle, so the teams over there will have to move in. But Team Mega, they realize that there's something fishy going on here. They're sending Encore ahead. They're stopping the rest of their players over here. And they know for a fact that there might be somebody waiting for them. Robin God has a forward position on the bridge, meanwhile the rest of his teammates right behind there. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, JSL might want to get into this fight really quick, because if they do spend too much time gatekeeping, they could potentially get third party by M40, who's not too far away. And I'm sure Mega has seen that yellow dasher, if I'm not mistaken. At least Paradox would have seen it from his vantage point, so they do know that there's a potential setup right there. Meanwhile, Playzone takes out TeamCell's MJ. Not sure what's happening there, but right now the focus is on the bridge.
I mean, Cells was in farm, right? Not exactly farm, but somewhere in Milta/farm, that sort of area. It's not.
Yeah, it's not that
bad of
far
an
out.
area.
Yeah, it's not that far
Yeah.
out. So I think Cells can still sort of res MJ and get back in. And the shots are being fired as, oh no, M40 aggresses Team Cells, gets the knock on Atanki, but gets traded by Rocks of Team Cells. It is up to Rival, Carnage, and Nexus OP to turn the tides of this battle. Rival trying to get an angle. Meanwhile, Team Cells' Red gets out of the car. Rival would have definitely heard that, and he has an idea where he is. Nades are being thrown by Team Cells' Red, but the playzone knocks MJ again. This is a 2v3 situation for Team Cells right now as MJ dies to the playzone. Atanki, of course, very low, but heals up. Here we go. It's now back to a 3v3, but then nade. Oh my god. Atanki gets a knock on Rival. And Red goes for the heal right there. Ruthless also slowly bleeding out. It looks like Team Cells is winning this fight right now as M40 dropping like flies to Team Cells.
Yeah, and their teammates have fallen away. They just ran out on the bike. So these two Team M40 members are pretty much dead over here. They are not going to be revived. Meanwhile, this fight has just begun. Mega Swag engaging with Robin, who was holding the forward position. He has backup in form of his teammates from behind, but he needs to isolate Robin God over here. Of Molotov, it's not going to do much. He won't be forced out, but the AK definitely connects, and Swag is down. What do Team Mega do now? The circle's coming towards them. He heard Encore right behind that van. He throws in a nade, and nades are exchanged. Encore takes a bit of damage. Robin God takes absolutely nothing. This is becoming even worse. Robin God takes a little bit of bullets coming in from Vexy, who was far behind. But another nade is going to push Encore down. That's a Molotov thrown so that he can push him out towards the left-hand side. They're somehow protecting Swag. They're not letting Robin God thirst him.
Yeah, they don't have to. Oh, and Robin God gets another knock. Robin God has two players down right now, and Vexy trying to get an angle on Robin, but manages to miss, and Swag is going to die to the play zone. What a beautiful play from Robin God, taking out two players. He's done his damage, and now he retreats back to the safe zone. Robin God with the smoke plume right behind him, but can Vexy connect? He does not connect. The play zone is doing there a little bit of damage to Vexy, and now Vexy needs to decide what to do here. This is not looking good for Team Mega.
I just noticed something really weird. Is the Dacia a left-hand drive? Because he was shooting on the right seat,
Yes,
and he did not connect the shots.
all the vehicles are left-hand drive. So
Wait. We just saw villains shift seats, right?
yeah, wait. Let's.
Oh my god! Wow, my whole life has been a lie.
Yeah.
He was shooting at the right-hand seat, and I thought, why was he shooting at the right-hand seat? And then I realized it's left, and then I'm like, wait, which is the default side of driving? Wait, I need to go check it again after the stream ends today. I need to get my knowledge right.
Anyway, we've got Lifecraft going for a mad, desperate rotate to a better position. Hopefully, they will not pull off a Marcos like how Marcos did last game, where they pulled up in front of UMExRxN, and UMExRxN just got those free easy kills. Now Mayhem on the screen right now. Now we need to see Mayhem do some damage. They've got 7C's Esports not too far away, so these are two promising teams. But Lifecraft takes some damage. Clowny gets the beautiful spray down on Kira. TeamElves' Kira did not even expect that. But Villain is also down, and it is up to Clowny to res him. He might want to blow up that car and provide himself better cover. Let's see what Clowny does here.
But Clowny was attacked by TeamElves. Meanwhile, Villain was knocked out by Team Genocide. At the same time, we have AIM Gaming also close by, so Lifecraft are in the smack center of a lot of trouble. He died in front of his eyes. That's just so sad.
Absolutely. Lifecraft is pretty much out of this game with one player, another player dying. Noob is also taking a lot of damage, and I don't think Clowny has any intention to revive him. Meanwhile, Team Insane sets up shop for all these other players. That's an AWM right there, and I wonder which team, Aztecc or 7C's, will go for it. Meanwhile, Team Insane gets the final knock on the Lifecraft player. Lifecraft, unfortunately, the terrible rotate from them too late into teams that had already set up shop. And now Insane taking up Elves, getting a knock on Avi. Tempest with the Kar 98.
I'm kind of skeptical about Insane's position though. They are in this massive trench. Now, historically, all the teams that have been here have only been here under very dire, desperate circumstances when they had literally nowhere else to go. And if anyone flanks them over here, it's so easy to get the kills on them. Like, it's fine if you're just holding them from a distance, but it's really bad if you can't do it. But did M40 just get eliminated because Carnage somehow killed himself in the car? What am I even seeing here?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but GSL seems to have done their damage to Mega. And but Mega, I think, is still pretty much alive. I'm not sure which team got eliminated.
M40 was eliminated
M40,
and life dropped.
Oh, but Mega's encore getting a knock on TeamTamilas' rocks. I wonder how many players from Mega are still alive.
Oh wait, Mega. Okay.
Mega were the ones who were gate kept at the bridge camp. Meanwhile, Insane getting shots on everybody that they can. First TeamElves and now Team Godlike, but Aztecc gets caught out by Mayhem's Believe, gets the knockout on Killsome. Insane, meanwhile, knocking down Exist as well. Team Insane on fire. Mayhem going for Nipu as well. Lifecraft has been eliminated, and TeamElves taking fights on two fronts. Not only Mayhem, but Team Insane as well. Nipu, she is not going to make it.
Yeah, they're in a lot of trouble. TeamElves are caught in the middle of Team Mayhem and in the middle of Team 7Cs and the Aztecs as well. So, at least for now, Aztecc is fighting with Mayhem. So, there's two teams who are busy engaging with each other. That's nice. But not all of Mayhem is here. You see, only Shadow is keeping tabs on Aztecs. Everyone else from Mayhem is pretty far away. Shadow is all by himself. And that's one thing that Mayhem do really, really well. They keep one of their players to get their eye into Aztecs. And unfortunately, even though it's a good strategy, this is the drawback of it. If Shadow dies, there's nothing you can do to save him.
Unnecessary, in my opinion. Mayhem losing one of their best players to an unnecessary push. But hey, maybe Mayhem have a few aces up their sleeves. Orange Rocks, John has been knocked, and he is dangerously close to Ipman and Ames Ducky. But never mind, Cloak gets the kill on Orange Rocks, John. They are going to want to now direct their attention to also Aztecs, who are not too far away from them.
Yeah, Aztec have a great position, and so do Mayhem. The other teams on the top of that hill, though, they are the ones who are in real trouble. Because out of that, I think it's only Team Genocide that have a good position. Everyone else around them, Orange Rock, 7Cs, they're trying to break into this compound. And while they're doing that, the other teams like JSL and AIM are also coming in from behind. I think JSL and AIM will fight with each other, so they don't have to worry about that.
Yeah,
Orange Rock is safe for now.
I think AIM will not only have to worry about JSL, but also worry about Team Genocide and Orange Rock, who can always turn around and pop a couple of shots in that direction. Daljit is Daljit is known to do this. He has a lot of awareness, game sense, and he's able. If he spots somebody, he just generally goes for the knock. Meanwhile, Team Insane
and Gabbar are literally right next to each other on the other side of this car.
Yeah, let's see what Neo and Gabbar do. It's whoever stands up first is the one who's gonna get sprayed down.
Wow.
My God, Mighty gets knocked, and now Neo has to worry about rezzing him, but never mind. Icky Mafia eliminated. That was unnecessary smoke from Neo.
No, okay, that was actually really smart. So as soon as they knocked out his teammate, they knew that Neo would have to throw a smoke over there. And that was a forced error. They forced Neo to switch the smoke and throw it to save his teammate. And as soon as he heard them throw it, Gabbar got up and he eliminated him.
Yeah.
That was a really, really smart move. 200 IQ.
Yeah, we've got Group B and Group C playing today, ladies and gentlemen. So no, Fnatic is not playing today's matches. But we do have Mayhem, we do have Orange Rock, we do have some heavy hitters like 7C's Esports, Team Elements, of course, playing today. So don't go anywhere as Gabbar goes for the smoke. Navjot gets the knock on Daljit's Orange Rock. Not sure how that happened, but he managed to just get it. This is not Orange Rock's game so far.
Definitely not. Anto does make things a little bit easier as he knocks out Final Boss, the strongest player of Team 7Cs. That's out of the picture, but the rest of 7Cs is not stopping. They're just moving away in their cars. And now they walk into the process of Team AIM. Another player down. Zigsaw, Vito, both are knocked. And Ducky gets them both. I think 7Cs are down to just one player now.
Yeah, that was beautiful, amazing gameplay from AIM Gaming, and a very, very YOLO move from 7Cs Esports. Not sure what they were trying to achieve there, and they are eliminated. Noob from Team Genocide gets the last knock on the 7Cs player. It is Anto, the lone warrior of Orange Rock. He's going to want to play the circle as much as he can, but he's right at the edge of the circle, so he needs to maybe get a couple of angles on these Team Genocide players. He knows they're there. He's just not taking the shots. Trigger discipline.
7Cs offered themselves to AIM, to Genocide, and to Orange Rock. They just fed kills to the other teams. 3 points for everybody. Anto picks up one of the cars, and he manages to get in safely. Team Genocide know where he is, but they're not taking shots at him. That's good, at least for now. But ELMT Esports are going to be taken out by Team Insane.
Insane on fire. So many knocks from them. So many like third-party kills as well. They were perfectly positioned. And as I said before in the beginning of the stream, that if you do have the central circle, you don't really have to worry about rotations, and you can comfortably take pot shots at every team.
AIM and JSL really close to each other. Fiaz is the one who's extremely far away from his team, and he's taking tabs of Team AIM, so they have to fight him first, and if he gets knocked, his teammates can't save him. All he has to do is stay alive and hope that his teammates can back him up from far away, but his teammates are taking a lot of damage. Glaive almost gets knocked. Zeus with an incredible spray down knocks Robin Georg, and this is amazing. Now he's gonna have to revive his teammate and heal himself up.
AIM
Both
Gaming
of them taking heavy amounts of damage.
AIM Gaming not only putting the pressure on 7Cs Esports and eliminating them, but also JSL. Meanwhile, speaking of eliminations, TeamElves gets knocked out by Team Aztecc, and Ducky goes for another knock on JSL, as JSL is not going to survive this fight against AIM Gaming. Look at AIM Gaming spread out. Ipman going for the forward push with the car. Zeus now spotting Insane. AIM Gaming turn their sights on Team Insane. The spray does not connect as much as he would have hoped, as Ipman goes for the push on JSL, trying to finish off the team as quickly as possible.
Fiaz taking no-scope shots, but Zeus, he comes from the side and he's gonna get him down. Glaive, in fact, does manage to finish off Ipman, who was getting shot before. But now both the teams are down 1-1 player each, and these guys are in trouble. The circle, it shifts to the extreme north end of the hill, where Team Insane is already there. Zeus in his buggy, he's just rolling around, and he finally stops. He knocks Rocky out with the car, and Glaive, he's gonna finish them off. Surya OP steps into the fray as well as he starts firing upon Team Cells, and that is gonna be the end of it. Cells come in as a third party. Jason need to survive this. They did manage to deal with them first, but Athanki is on fire, and JSL is gonna get knocked out. Cells getting the timing down to perfection, but they still have to finish off the remaining players of Team AIM. They did not anticipate them to still be alive, and AIM desperately took that opportunity to hide and heal.
Team Cells is a teammate. What a push from him. He actually bought his teammate Athanki a lot of time to get the trade on JSL, knocking them out. Meanwhile, Aztecc, of course, in a great position. They have cover. They have all 4 players remaining. It looks like Aztecc is in one of the strongest positions to win this Erangel map. But never mind, we've got Mayhem, 2 players of Mayhem nearby as Cloak third person peeks Spidey. And Spidey goes for the nade. Looks like Aztecc wants to secure this compound and eliminate Cloak and Navjot, but Godlike's carry is not too far away, hiding nice and slow. Athanki trying to get the knock on AIM Gaming. He tries to finish Zeus desperately. He does it. Enough is enough. Team Cells not only third-partying Team JSL, but also Team AIM Gaming, and Orange Rock eliminated Anto, finally falling to Team Genocide as well.
Kills him. He's inside the house. He knows most of them are upstairs, but he does not account for Navjot to be on the bedroom. I mean, inside the bedroom. He's gonna take that smoke to his advantage and heal up. Meanwhile, Athanki, they finally got the kills onto the players of AIM Gaming, but one of them is still surviving. And now they're distracted by Team Mega. Encore is already down. Paradox, he's in their crosshairs. He's laying down the smoke so that the Ipman, the last remaining player from AIM, can't get them. But is that going to be enough, though?
Look at the nades fly. Athanki and his teammate. Oh, they finish off Encore, and Paradox is now chunking due to the perfectly placed molly. Paradox, what is he going to do here? The nades keep flying, and Aztecc is so sure that he wants to finish them off before he turns his attention to aim gaming. Look at the number of nades this man is dropping, the number of smokes. He is in a great position. But Ipman's not too far away. Ipman probably is going for the knock on Aztecc. Oh my god, and he finishes Aztecc off. Aim gaming, but they get eliminated. Red from TeamCells trades Ipman, but Aztecc falls to aim gaming. Cloak with a beautiful spray down. He takes a chunk of damage from Team Genocide.
Yeah, but there's so many teams with only one player alive each. Cloak is gonna die outside the zone. So that's Mayhem out. Godlike, Mega, and Cells all with one player each. It's only Genocide who have the advantage. Aztecs finally managed to eliminate the team that they were trying to steal this compound away from. We have Carry in the background on the same compound, but I guess Aztecs have the best position at this point. They finally find Carry. Godlike is going to be eliminated, and now they have to find their way upwards, as that's where the play zone is going to take them. Last remaining player, Cells down. Paradox, he's taking a lot of damage. Has the vehicle for cover, but he's stealing. He's looting because he doesn't have any meds. Finally, he got plenty of them.
Oh, but Aztec Satan is creeping up on the lone Mega player. It looks like Team Aztec have taken have lost one player, but never mind. Megastars eliminated by Team Genocide. We've got 2 teams remaining. It's a 4v3. Never mind, it's a 4v2 as XDD finishes off Killsum from Team Aztec. It is up to Satan and Spidey. Do you think they'll be able to clutch this, Crips?
2 versus 4. The zone doesn't need them to move. They might just be able to clutch this out if they somehow manage to isolate the players of Team Genocide. Spidey, he's proning in the ground and going towards the other side of the hill. Meanwhile, Satan takes a heavy amount of damage and he has to disengage, at least for now. Both of them are playing far away from each other. So if one of them gets knocked, there's no chance of reviving. They're going to have to cover both ends of the ridges and keep Team Genocide at bay, because if Genocide pushes, then Aztec is pretty much done for. They have to maintain their distance.
Genocide doesn't have to push. They do have the circle, so it's only up to Team Aztec, and they're playing very defensive. They know that the circle favors them. Aztec are the ones who will have to push, and they are at a huge disadvantage. It is a 2v4 in obviously Team Genocide's favor. Critic firing a couple of shots at Spidey.
Satan doesn't have any meds.
Yeah.
He's going to have to fight at half HP.
Yeah, so Satan, not only that, his armor is damaged, his helmet is damaged, and he is damaged himself as Ashgamer finally gets a knock on Satan, and it's up to Spidey. Maybe he can get a couple of kills right at the end. XDD going for the push, Spidey maybe going for the last desperate heal off, but no, he finally falls to Critic, and that is the end for Aztecs coming in second place. Team Genocide, of course, what a win. First place, they eliminated so many teams right at the end. Aim Gaming, Cells, and Megastars as well. All lone players. They just had the numbers right at the end of the circle.
Definitely, and that's the win factor. You don't just need to get points, you also need to make sure that most of your players are alive, because the team that has the highest number of players remaining in the last circle obviously has a much bigger advantage. We saw a lot of teams had like just one player each. I think Mayhem, Mega, then we had Aim Gaming, we had Godlike, 4 of those teams with only one player remaining each in the last circle, and then Genocide and Aztecs have 4 and 3 players each respectively, and that's why they were the teams that, you know, fought each other last.
Yep, absolutely. I have a lot of respect though for Team Cells. They did play an interesting game against JSL and I believe it was JSL and another team. I'm not able to remember. But anyway, we've got Team Genocide's XDD, the MVP of the match. 4 kills, but a whopping 767 damage. Crazy amount of damage he managed to dish out. Team Genocide clearly in the best position. They didn't have to take too many fights till the late game. And they were very opportunistic. They got so many solo players out of the circle. They got Orange Rock, they got Megastars, they got Aim Gaming, and of course finally they got Aztecs out as well.
Yeah, Genocide doing really well in that little bunch of compounds, which is close to Quarry, but surprisingly we don't really see a lot of action in that part of the map. Now finally we finally got to see that, and it can be a really interesting area to watch. I mean, that entire area, there's plenty of cover over there, right? There's plenty of hills, there's open fields as well, and compounds. So it's a really good mix and match of everything.
Absolutely. And we've got top 5 players, Atanki, TeamElves, beautiful play from them. Unfortunately, like, you know, it didn't pan out. They had to take so many multiple fights, but you can see him rack up the kills. We got XDD from, of course, Team Genocide, but Team Insane got the early position, and they got a couple of decent knocks here and there, but Cells managed to finally take care of Team Insane.
Yeah, but are you happy with the performance of Team Cells?
I think so. I think they took so many fights towards the end, and Atanki's teammate, I believe, was Rox, who managed to get team player Red also to get a few knocks on, forgetting the name of the team, JSL. So yeah, I think TeamElves performed really well, and they should be proud of themselves. And look at that, the overall standings for the match. TeamElves coming in second place with 12 kills and 8 placement points. Yeah, good for them. 20 points. That's a good haul for them. Team Genocide, again, great. 10 kills, 20 points. I told you, like, at the beginning of the stream, that every team that wins a chicken dinner generally has between 5 to 10 kills, and they get that 30-point advantage, which will push them up in the standings. Aztecc then third place, coming in with 4 kills, 18 points. So yeah, Aztecc, Megastars, Team Insane. Team Insane, of course, had 7 kills. Great performance from them, but not the greatest position. So I'm pretty sure they're happy about their overall gameplay.
Yeah, JSL coming in with 2 placement points only and only 4 kills. They were in a tough situation because they had to fight AIM, and then Cells decided to third party upon them. Elements, though, they did not really do that well. Did get 3 kills. Unfortunately, I think they were the team that had to rotate very early and get into that fight. Orange Rock, though, they managed to have one of their players, I think it was Anto or Mavi, one of them. And Anto was surviving till the very end, and that's why they have 4 placement points, but no kills after that.
Yeah, I mean,
Mafia, unfortunately, we saw that fight. Wasn't really that impressive.
And even 7Seas Esports, I'm not sure what they were trying to pull with that YOLO SUV push, but AIM Gaming took care of it immediately. They saw them and they sprayed them out. And I gotta say, AIM Gaming also took a lot of decent fights in the first map of Erangel. But we do have Sanhok coming up next. And traditionally speaking, AIM Gaming are the kings of Sanhok. But the kings of the third party, who do you think had the best third parties this last match in Erangel?
This map? Cells, obviously.
Yeah.
So a lot of teams went for those YOLO car pushes, right? We saw, I forgot, Team 7Seas. They were picked off by multiple teams. AIM took a kill, Orange Rock took a kill out of them, and then even Genocide finished them off. But Cells, they third-partied in towards the fight of AIM and JSL really, really well, and they got the timing down to perfection.
Yeah, so ELMT Esports and Team Genocide moving up the rankings, but of course the top 5 placements haven't changed much. But 7Seas Esports disappointingly moving down in 1 slot. They're losing their position to Team Genocide. Of course, all these teams need to be in a top 16 standings to make it to the finals. This is day 3 of the semifinals. And how many days do we have left, Crips?
None.
This is the last day?
I think so. Wait, let me just confirm. So we have 3 groups, right? So A, B played yesterday. Today we have B and C. And A and C was also done yesterday. Not yesterday, day before. So yeah.
Yep, so there we go. All these teams better perform as well as they can. Otherwise, they're going to get eliminated from the semifinals. And let's see what the other standings are. We've got Team Ecstasy, unfortunately, and Megastars going down. Megastars tried to play for position points, but they didn't quite manage it. And there we go. Team Cells' performance, 30 total kills. I mean, good for them. They moved up in the rankings finally. Also, AIM Gaming moving up in the rankings because of their kills, and so did Godlike, but I don't recall Godlike doing much. I think we missed most of the Godlike fights because it happened off camera. But yeah, looks like Godlike is also safely in the 16th position, and top 16 make it to the finals.
I remember Godlike was getting pushed by Team Aztecc, and I assume that because we only saw carry from Godlike stay alive in the end, I'm assuming the rest of them were wiped out by Team Aztecc. And speaking of Aztecc, they have moved up. They were in the danger zone, and now they are safe at position 20.
Cribs. We have 3 more days in the semifinals.
Oh,
so
my bad.
all right.
So all these groups will be will be facing each other again. AB,
Yeah. So there's a lot of time. There's a lot of time. There's a lot of time for these players, for these teams to come back. We stand corrected. And yeah, we've got Sanhok coming up next. Who do you think is going to perform in Sanhok?
I'm assuming Team -40 will have a better time in Sanhok, and obviously Team Mayhem as well. Although most of the times the games in Sanhok do come down to aim battles, so I think Orange Rock also have an advantage over there.
All right. But I do expect Godlike also to perform quite well.
Yeah, Godlike too. Every team that has super strong aimers is gonna have an advantage in Sanhok.
Yeah. Let's not forget Team Element's Gubber. Like that was a good play on the was it Iki Mafia? No, it was Iki Mafia.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Where he got Neo Nike's. He managed to distract him and then push him, which was quite a cool play from him. But yep, there we go. We've got Ketan and Krat on screen. Ketan, of course, with the fancy PUBG Mobile sweatshirt. Look at him show off that swag. And if you are enjoying the English cast, I am PC Peasants Gaming from Chennai, and I have my co-caster Crips here from Mumbai. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So we had a pretty interesting Erangel as our first match, and now we're moving into our second match, that is Sanhok. Welcome to the PMCO 2020 Spring Split Semi-Finals. This is day 3. I am PC Peasants Gaming, and I have my co-caster right here with me, Crips. Hello, Crips.
Hello. So, are you looking forward for the teams who did not really do well on Erangel? Teams like 7Cs, we saw them get completely devastated by a wrong rotation. Not even a wrong rotation. It was a very foolhardy rotation in the car. They got killed by multiple teams. Do you think 7Cs and teams who did not have a good time, like Godlike, do you expect them to come back in Sanhok?
Yeah, absolutely. Like as you rightly said before, teams like Godlike and 7Cs are traditionally players who play really well. They're mechanically gifted. They do well in the Sanhok close quarter combat scenarios that we generally see. So yeah, absolutely. Like if they can get the rotations correctly, then I won't be surprised if these teams come back in the match 2 of Sanhok. Meanwhile, Team Cells, amazing performance from them on the screen right now. 12 kills head to head with Team Aztecc. I'm not sure why, but I'm guessing it's a standings thing right there. But the king of the third parties, in my opinion, like they had taken out JSL, they took out Insane. They even got in a couple of fights with AIM Gaming. So yeah, absolutely, Team Cells, stellar performance, and let's hope if they can keep up the energy in Sanhok.
Yeah, Cells got 12 kills because of that wonderfully timed third party, and that's the thing about Sanhok as well. If you can get your third party timings right, if you know when to fight and when to hide, then you are gonna have a gala time. Aztecc got more position points, but obviously Cells were the one who had a higher amount of kills.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we've got Ketan, of course, with the sexy sweatshirt. I'm gonna have to ping him after the stream and tell him where I can buy that. You know what? I even buy that myself. I'm not looking for a handout. I'll spend my money on that sweatshirt.
Yeah, but okay. I think he got it at one of the events that he has casted, and it's. You remember that hoodie we got from Pamas?
Yes.
It's better when you earn it, right? It's better when you earn it rather than just buy it. I don't know. I kind of feel that way, but yeah. I mean, if the sweatshirt's as nice as that, then I'm definitely buying it. I mean, I was more into his glasses. I've been saying that since the day he started wearing them.
Dude, those are the Iron Man glasses, man. You can buy them on like Amazon or eBay or stuff like that. Like. But yeah, those glasses are way too big for my face. But I love the entire ensemble. I know we're supposed to be talking about PUBG Mobile and the teams and stuff like that, but it's okay if we appreciate Ketan's entire sort of look and feel today.
Yeah.
Like,
I like Krat's haircut too, don't you think?
No, I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
I'm a little old-fashioned, so I don't think I can deal with the buzz cut. But let's come back to the game. Yeah, so we've got some interesting teams playing today, and you know, Icky Mafia is again a team that generally performs quite well in Sanhok, and of course the plane path is nice, and it's nice and central. It's bisecting the entire map perfectly, so we can see some interesting rotations happen. We've got Mayhem going for docks as they generally do, and JSL of course closely behind them. We've got Team Genocide going for Tambang, a team that will probably try to take the Trifecta and Painan. Icky Mafia again, a team that also loves dropping Trifecta and Painan, but
they're right on top of it.
Yeah, they're right on top of it. We've got Godlike. I'm not sure where they're going. Maybe for Lakavi. And Team Insane and M40s are going for Bravo, but the Circle is the MVP today, ladies and gentlemen. The Circle has completely changed to the Hatin Island, and yep, the rotations are now going to be a lot more painful for Mayhem. JSL. Mayhem is just not having the greatest luck off late.
There's a rumble in the jungle, there's a whisper in the trees, the animals are waking up and rustle in the leaves, the hippo's at the water hole, the leopard's in his lair. This game is devastating and the Circle's unfair. Ruthless, he got a knock already onto Tempest. How on earth Insane returns the favor by getting the knock onto Rival, and Ruthless is right underneath him. Do we see him jump out the window and devastate him? Nope. It's gonna be Legend who devastates him instead, and both of them tag team to finish him up. This fight is happening in a really obscure location. You see, this camp is it's a tricky place to fight. It's not like boot camp where there's one big building in the center and then there are smaller buildings to the side. There are small buildings everywhere over here.
And you don't always get a gun. Like, look at Carnage, he doesn't have the greatest gun there. Hey, meanwhile we've got Aim Gaming getting a knock and Thirst on Godlike's Gill. That is not a loss that Godlike would have wanted to take so early, but it looks like Aim Gaming's Rocky is alone. And no, his teammates are not too far away. We've got an Aim Gaming versus Godlike situation here. Of course, we had Insane versus M40 happening in Camp Bravo. Again, an early fight. Team Insane, of course, are quite fine, but M40 only have Nexus, OP, and Carnage. And I just gotta say, what was that rhyme? That was amazing, Crips. You should be a poet.
That was a nursery rhyme, which I learned in school. I think I was in 6th grade. Not even 6th, like 2nd or 3rd grade. Either way, found a way to use it today.
I thought you were like rapping. I thought it was improv. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of modified it a bit to suit the unfairness of the Sanhok circle. But yeah, I shouldn't have said that, right? It would have been more impressive that way.
I think it was amazing. I was impressed. Meanwhile, Aim Gaming getting another knock on Godlike. Smoky OP. Not a great start for Team Godlike. They will probably go for the Thirst. Yep, Zeus is going to finish him off. And yes, he does. Aim Gaming getting the early fight on Godlike. A team that we were kind of rooting for in Sanhok. But yeah, shit happens.
Either way, Carry and Exist, they're going to back away from this one, and they are far away from each other as well. I don't really like this. Godlike has already lost 2 players, and the last remaining players are playing away from each other. Not the best stat. Either way, Nexus OP. He was at one point fighting Team Insane. Now he's just out of the camp, and he's trying to third-person peek them and look for a good time to walk away from this one and hopefully run to some other part of the jungle.
Indeed, we've got Nexus OP trying to... Not sure what they're going to do here. Are they going to go for a early fight, or are they just going to rotate? Because everybody's rotating. We've got Team Cells very quickly rotating. Team Element, of course, having stripped bootcamp nice and clean, are also going to be going for the rotate. Meanwhile, Orange Rock, where are Orange Rock? Orange Rock are near Tambang. Tambang? No. This is Hatin.
Yeah, it is.
No, this is Hatin. I think this is Hatin.
I mean, if they were in Hatin, they wouldn't rotate. So I think you were right. This is Tambang.
Okay.
Your instincts told you it's Tambang. Trust your instincts, bro.
Trust my instincts. And Team Cells not trusting their instincts, going up head-to-head with Team Orange Rock. But never mind, Team Elements Ultron gets the knock on Illusion, and Team Cells is sandwiched between... Oh! Mavi with the nade on Rocks, and Anto cooks another nade on point. Team Cells sort of in a wonderful sandwich, a kill sandwich between Orange Rock and Team Element Esports, and Rocks is also going to take that damage, and that's pretty much Team Cells out of the game here. Daljit. But at least now Orange Rock do know that Team Elements is nearby, and Mavi tries to third-person peek, trying to get an idea of where this team is. Atanki, meanwhile, is like, nope, as he swims away.
Yeah, but he barely has any meds. Just 1 first aid kit and 2 painkillers, and he's gonna have to use them to just get healthy.
Wait a minute. Lifecraft just entered the fight, finishing off the Team Cells players, and we also missed 7C's Esports getting a knock on Zerif and a kill on Zerif as well. Looks like we have 3 teams now. Yep, Aztecs also getting into a fight with Team Genocide, not too far away.
Genocide have already lost a player. The teammates just managed to go over under the bridge, actually, not over, under the bridge, and go to the other side of this road, and that's gonna surprise Team Aztec. I don't think they'll be ready for this. They're too busy looking at XTD and Critic, and that was the initial position. But the other two teammates have taken the long way around, and now Aztecs are in trouble. I think Critic can be easily revived, no problem. And at that point, Team Genocide will really start to, plummet the hammer down on Team Aztec. There's a lone, unclaimed M249, but I don't think any team will go for this. It's smack in the center of the rotation areas, close to Trifecta, and any team that goes for it right now is going to be hunted down by everyone else.
Indeed, indeed. Team Genocide also doesn't want to commit to a fight just yet because they will want to play the circle as much as they can, but they are keeping an eye out for potential victims. And Team Aztec, of course, not too far away. They've got a nice compound there, and it is pretty centrally positioned as far as the circle is concerned. So Team Aztec for now don't have to worry about any rotations. They just need to heal up and maybe take a call later.
Orange Rock are also close by, and it's Lifetrapped who are engaging with them. Now, keep in mind that both these fights are happening on the northwestern island, which means these teams have already rotated into the circle, and they don't have to worry about moving anyway. They just need to hold on their compounds and just guard them with their lives. Mayhem, their boat was about to blow up. That's why the ELMT members just jumped out of the boat. That's one nice thing. You don't lose HP for jumping out of moving boats, but you lose a ton of HP. Sometimes even get knocked out by jumping out of moving cars. Either way, these guys are safe. Their boat is about to blow up, which means they have to swim all the way around. And that's not going to be a good thing for them because it's too slow.
Yeah, and we've got Orange Rock finally in a circle, in a compound that they are going to call their own. As the circle does favor them, Iki Mafia, having lost one player to 7 Seas, are right now on the Hathin Islands Everest, their version of Everest, and they are also battling it out on the peak of that island's mountain. And what is Mayhem's Navjot doing all the way north of Mongai?
Interesting. TeamElves, they might just be able to make it to Hathin, but the road is locked by Team Orange Rock. John is playing very far away from his teammates. We saw Orange Rock and Lifetrapped on our stream just a second ago, but John is in Hathin, literally the town of Hathin, and his teammates are on the same island. 7 Seas are going for the central position on the northwestern island. They've taken the temple positions on top of the hills. 7 Seas usually do take that position pretty early, and we saw how Final Boss was able to guard his team really well from that position on top just a couple of days ago.
Absolutely.
Taking the bridge.
You know what? I think 7 Seas Esports is probably in the best position right now as far as the circle is concerned. And now we see Lifecraft's Exotic throw a nade at Team Insane. And let's not forget the camera pans on the airdrops that nobody touches. Oh, but Vito gets a knock on Orange Rock's John and thirsts him. So 7 Seas Esports on their little perch on the temple or Everest or whatever you want to call it have an angle on Orange Rock, and they are spraying lead all the way down. And Team Insane fighting Lifecraft.
Yeah, but if they have the angle on John, they're going to have the angle on TeamElves too. So 7 Seas, they get 1+1 free. But that's going to put Team Lifecraft in a little awkward spot because they saw him get knocked out. And then they realized, where was John? How did he get knocked out? Either way, they don't care because they have Insane in their crosshairs and they're going to finish him off. But yeah, that little weird name of Orange Rock John appearing on the screen is going to make Lifecraft think a bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Lifecraft is now worried about the bridge push by Team Insane as Insane tries to rotate into the circle safely. Did not work out for their teammate Sky, who got on the bike and then into the water and then was fish food eventually. But
biking on the beach is dangerous.
Yeah, he's like, hey, I'm just gonna go for a quick beach buggy ride. I don't know what he was thinking. What is Navjot doing? What happened to Mayhem? Navjot going for the long rotation. Wherever he docks, eventually he's going to have to fight some team or the other. Whether it is Hathin, where Megastars will be setting up camp. But we've also got Godlike.
Yo!
Look at him go.
Okay. So you said Navjot, and I was looking for him on my screen. I was like, where is he? Where is he? And I see him itna upar, all the way up on top. He's not even in the game anymore.
Itna upar. This is the English stream, English live cast scripts.
Yeah, but then my Indian element of surprise came through, and I was like, huh? Why? My first question is, why would you go there?
Wait,
I mean, some teams on Erangel do this. They go to the spawn island, they take the boat, and they just run away. I don't think Sanhok has a spawn island. What was he even doing there in the water?
the rest of his team, meanwhile, are right now fighting JSL, and they got a knock on somebody. I'm not sure. I missed it. Yes, Robin God. So JSL getting knocked by Mayhem is going to definitely frighten them, because nobody really wants to mess with Mayhem. The group stages, they played amazingly well. Of course, the semifinals, they haven't played that well so far, but they haven't had the circle mostly. Let's see how Sanhok works out for them.
Yeah, and Mayhem are sticking to the edges this time. And when I say edge, I don't mean the edge of circle. Literally the edge of the island. They are towards the beaches. And now they're moving into its Team Genocide. Keep in mind that Genocide was at one point engaging Team Aztecc. So now that this fight starts, I think Aztecc has an opportunity to third party. Noob definitely saw all of them. He's up on that tower house. And he relays the information into his team. Ashgamer knocks out Believe. And Ashgamer gets the kill onto Shadow as well. Cloak finally knocks out Ashgamer, putting his killing spree to an end. But by this time, it's too late. Mayhem have lost 2 players.
That was unnecessary. I don't think Mayhem did any sort of reconnaissance before pushing this compound. And these are just free kills for Team Genocide at this point. They did lose Ashgamer to a knock, but Ashgamer is going to get rezzed, and it's Cloak and Navjot remaining for Team Mayhem. Cloak, of course, noping right now and getting the hell out of that situation. Will hopefully try to reconnect with Navjot at some point. But the play zone knocks Nipu. And Godlike eliminated by Team Mega's swag.
I see a bunch of broken down boats over here, so I'm assuming they were taking the safer approach, jumping into the boats and then, riding their way in towards the Hatin Island instead of taking the bridges. Rather safe, but it still did not work out for them, so yeah.
The circle has, of course, moved Crips, and now look at this new circle with 7 Seas Esports firmly in the center of the circle. Not too far away is Icky Mafia, and now Orange Rock have to make the dangerous climb while worrying about Lifecraft Esports north of them. Meanwhile, AIM Gaming right below ELMT Esports to the southeastern side of the map as they rotate through the trifecta choke point.
Yeah, and M40 is still in the blue zone, which means they're still taking damage. They are very far away from this new circle, and they have to cross the trifecta, or they have to swim their way and then make landfall as well and still continue walking into the zone. So they are in a lot of trouble. If nobody kills them, they're gonna die to the play zone, I think. Either way, Ipman, he does get the knock onto Gabbar. I think he should be able to finish him off as well. Team Elements quite close by, but this is a really far away fight, and Elements are spread out. Meanwhile, Icky Mafia, they also start getting fired upon by 7 Seas as well as Element.
Yep.
Pain already knocked out. Neonike already down. And I don't think they're going to survive this. This sandwich is a dangerous one.
Yep, it's not looking good for Team. Oh, but Zeus with the spray down of the Vector with a 4x. My god, Zeus's aim is godlike. What a long spray down. And let me tell you, that is not an easy spray down to get.
Definitely not. At this point, Icky Mafia is getting sandwiched by Elements and 7 Seas, but Elements are getting third-partied by AIM. So, in all of this, if AIM somehow managed to keep Elements in check, Icky Mafia might just survive this.
Yeah, absolutely. Elements have now finished off Ducky from Team AIM Gaming, and Ipman, of course, serving the damage to his teammate. Prince with the spray down. But Ipman also putting pressure, trying to get the trade. Meanwhile, 7 Seas has entered the fight, doing a decent amount of damage to Ultron from Team Element. Final boss, the king of this canyon, always getting knocks from far away. 7 Seas Esports looks like they are in the best position even now.
Yeah. I predict 7 Seas to win this chicken dinner once again, assuming nobody from any other team decides to storm into their compound. Then that's a different beast altogether. Meanwhile, they have the best position. So they just keep getting kills left, right, center.
Yep, and they need those kill points as well if they want to traverse up the standings. 420 OP, let's not forget that he is one of the best players in the semifinals so far. And knocking out Gabbar from Team Element is... Oh, and he gets Ultron as well. What beautiful spray control right there. 420 OP, not going for the thirst, but definitely going to get another shot, and maybe Frost. Team Element losing Gabbar, one of their best players, is definitely demoralized right now.
I think 420 OP will spot him as well. No, it's AIM Gaming who spot Frost. Okay, they managed to survive somehow. But Gabbar already down. Gabbar was the strongest player of this team. He had 30 kills in the group stage. Ultron knocked out. Frost was on his way to rescue him, but Frost will not be able to do anything. Meanwhile, on a completely different side of the map, Insane safe in a compound. Mayhem, who just avoided certain death against Team Genocide, are somehow making their way in. JSL and Ipman. What? How did JSL enter this fight? Oh, they're climbing up the hill and now they're challenging Team AIM on their way in. This is interesting. Mayhem, they were trying to take the boat and come in, but Elves will finally blow them up and Mayhem is out of the fight. First, they walk into the compound of Team Genocide and die. They lose 2 players. Then they walk into the compound of Elves. It seems like they were just on the water 24/7. They were just boating around. And whenever they try to make landfall, somebody or the other is there to welcome them.
Alright, I gotta talk about the new circle which has moved towards the northern side of the Hatin Island, giving Megastars a good position and a decent amount of cover. Team Insane, of course, also moving into cover. And there we go, we've got JSL, the Team ELMT Esports, pushing forward as well. We've got a lone Nexus OP from Team M40 trying to rotate into the circle very sneakily. Doesn't want to give away his position. And JSL now probably going to have to deal with Aztecs on the western front.
Keep in mind, Aztecs has not moved out of this has not moved out of this compound since the beginning of the game. They've been near this one all throughout.
Yeah, they're probably waiting for somebody to rotate through this valley, and if Robin God is not lucky, he might take some damage from Team Aztecs, but it looks like he's making it quite safely. But this is going to be an interesting circle for 7Cs as well, because they do not have cover if the circle does move north, and they will be pushed. They will be forced to rotate on open fields. And that's not something that they will want to do.
Yeah, but it's always better to have high ground, and I'm assuming it won't be that difficult of a rotate. I mean, you look at JSL, they are in the absolute worst position right now. How have Aztecs not seen them just yet? I'm surprised. Oh no, what? Did Nexus OP just fall to his death?
Yeah. Oh, that's a sad ending to Team -40. Nexus OP finally falling to his death, and they are eliminated. All the fans in the chat are going to be very upset about that for sure. As Aztec finally spots out Team Genocide, Spidey gets a couple of shots in. What a long distance 6x tap we've got there going for Spidey. Did a little bit of damage there. But anyway, Team Elements Frost knocking out and killing off Satan from Aztec. What the hell? Team Aztec is like wondering what happened. Such a quick kill. Yes, Team Element know exactly where they are. And they just went for the opportunistic kill.
AIM Gaming, they were getting fired from so many teams and they're finally eliminated, put out of their misery. Meanwhile, 7Cs continue to rain hellfire, and now they're third-partying into the fight between Genocide and Elves. We have Ash Gamer from Genocide desperately trying to hide from Duke, and he's taking a bit of damage from the play zone as well, but Vidu is just having a really good time. Finally, Duke finishes off Ash Gamer.
Duke has a Groza as well.
Gonna be a bit disappointed he didn't steal that kill away from him. Either way, 7Cs have bigger problems. Elements are now upon them, and they have better weaponry.
Finally, 7Cs Esports are going to pay for all the damage and grief that they've given all the other teams. Zigzag still getting a knock on Lifecraft's villain, but he might want to reposition himself and deal with the ELMT Esports push. And meanwhile, JSL has spotted out Viru, get a couple of shots in, but 420 gets the knock on Glaive, and it is up to 420 to get the third party. He sees Fairs, but he does not manage to connect. Fairs gets the trade. Oh my god, this is amazing. As 7 Seas Esports finally getting shot from multiple angles.
Yeah, 7 Cs are a bit too far spread apart, and now Team JSL and Element are both trying to get the kills onto them. Zigzaw does manage to finish off Ultron, and Aztecs are the one who steal that kill away from him. JSL knocked out, but 7 Cs, they still don't care. They still continue to fire away, and Zigzaw finishes off Element Ultron. Neonike, how is he still alive? He's trying to get into the circle, but there's Elements right in front of him. He manages to get the last kill, and we have Element Esports out of the fray.
Oh
Team
my
7C
God.
safe, all thanks to the deeds of Neonike, but they do not return the favor. Zigzaw will still finish off him as well. And Icky Mafia are also going to be knocked out. Livecraft find themselves in a very bad spot. They're getting fired upon by Zigzaw somehow. The shots don't connect, but he's done enough damage.
And Livecraft managing to eliminate Team Cells, but the play zone finally takes Duke, and TeamElves is also out of the circle. We've got, look at Orange Rock right there in the smoke. They are in a good position. They don't have to deal with 7 Seas just yet, and 7 Seas Viru pushes.
I don't think
Mavi.
Livecraft ever expected Orange Rock to be here. I actually disagree with you. I think this is a horrible position. This is the Valley of Death. And it's so bad, it's such a bad position that Livecraft would have never expected Orange to be here. That's why they were able to catch them off guard. Villain does manage to knock out Mavi, but can he finish him off? Even Anto's down. No! Finally, they managed to finish him off. Daljeet does knock out Exotic from Livecraft, but he still has to take care of Villain. He's already killed 2 of his teammates and he wants revenge. Anto's right in front of him and he needs to get the better of him. Livecraft don't care. They probably will lose out, but they've already picked up 3 of the players of Orange Rock and they're going to be really happy about the kills they have. 3 points in the bag already and 8 points in total. Daljeet getting pushed by the zone has to move eventually. How long can he stay in there? Villain and his teammate, both of them, they managed to finish off Orange Rock entirely.
But Orange Rock still coming in 3rd place is not too bad for them. They do have 11 points to their name as well. And TeamElves, of course, leading the scoreboard with 13 points. It is up to these 2 teams, 7 Seas Esports and Livecraft. What a nade. He jumps over, he falls. And that is the end of 7 Seas Esports.
What?
They maintained superiority for most of the game, but right at the end, the circle did not favor them. Look at the kills that they racked up, though. They're definitely going to be on top of the points board.
He just jumped to his death. He thought he would be able to knock one out mid-air, but that did not happen. And all throughout the game, I predicted 7 Seas will get the chicken dinner. And Livecraft were in such a horrible position. I never thought they would even make it past top 4, but they completely win. They win the whole game.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the beauty of PUBG Mobile. Nobody can ever predict what will happen.
I mean, 7 Seas Esports had the circle for the longest time, and they did the most amount of damage. So I don't think winning chicken dinner here really matters to them, because they're definitely going to rack up on the points right now. But the MVP goes to Livecraft, Noob, with 4 kills and 256 damage. Of course, Team Livecraft, amazing spray down on the Orange Rock players who were, yes, as you rightly said, trapped in the Valley of Death.
And the Valley of Death was their undoing. Orange Rock probably thought they would be safe because nobody would check down there. It's a very steep angle to check, especially if you're on top. But all that aside, we have Noob from Livecraft, who was the MVP of that game. 4 kills to his name. And I don't know, how did Livecraft even survive? Because at one point they were fighting JSL, they were fighting Elements as well, and 7 Seas was almost always present. Still, Livecraft survived.
Yeah, Livecraft survived, but I think it's mostly because 7 Seas Esports was not only fighting Elements, but they eliminated JSL, then they eliminated Icky Mafia. They did like a crazy amount of like damage right there. Top 5 players. There you go, Zigzaw with 4 kills, but 849 damage, which is crazy. We've got 420 OP with 3 kills and 834 damage. They were just dishing out damage throughout the game of Sanhok. We've got Insane's Naruto coming in second with 4 kills and 744 damage, which is also commendable. And Ash Gamer coming in third with 4 kills, and of course Livecraft's Noob coming in with 4 kills. Not sure what happened to Team Genocide, but they just didn't have the circle and they eventually caved.
Yeah, Genocide, actually, I was pretty happy when they were able to get those free kills onto Team Mayhem. But then when the circle started shrinking, they had to cross the river once again, and then they ran into players of Elements as well. I think AIM also picked off a couple of them. No? Did AIM participate in that fight? Or was AIM too busy dealing with Elements?
AIM was busy dealing with Elements right outside the circle, and then by the time they made it in, I mean, Team Elements sort of eliminated AIM Gaming's last player. And that was also because they were in a sandwich situation between Elements and 7Seas Esports. And there we go, look at the standings. We've got 7Seas Esports coming in with 25 points, which is not too low. I mean, Lifecraft, of course, coming in with 30 points, 20 placement points, 10 kills. All these teams that win the chicken dinner racking up at least 30 points, but a commendable performance for 7Seas Esports. And TeamElves also 6 kills, good for them, 13 total points.
Yeah, TeamElves was playing safe pretty much all throughout. The only fight that they did run into was one of the players of Team Elements. I think it was who was the player that Zigza was trying to kill from up there, and we saw the fight between Duke and him.
Duke and I'm forgetting.
Duke and Elves.
Yeah, Duke and Elves. Duke was in Elves, and I believe it was Team Genocide player. But anyway, we've got Cells coming in with 9th place, Team Genocide 10th. Team Genocide definitely 4 kills, good for them. Not the greatest placement points though, so they're going to maybe want to catch up in the coming games. But Iki Mafia, AIM Gaming, JSL, Team Mayhem, disappointing performance. Godlike, disappointing performance. And -40 losing that Camp Bravo fight initially, also quite a sad performance from them as well.
Yeah,
not the
then
greatest.
One of their players fell to his death.
yeah, that was just humiliating for -40. But it's okay. They might always come back. We've got 3 days remaining for the semifinals. A lot of these teams can definitely come back and get the top 16 position that they need to get into the finals.
Yeah, definitely. But so far, the theme of the whole tournament has been that the top teams like Godlike and Mayhem, they don't really perform well. This time, they were 15th and 16th respectively. Either way, let's take a look at the overall standings and see if it's true. Marco's on top with 130. 7Seas Esports, they climbed up to the second spot after that game. VSGCrawlers and UMExRxN, they are slipping downwards. So is Fnatic because they didn't play today, and 7Seas skyrocketed upwards. Elements somehow still going strong at the 6th place. Meanwhile, Revenge Esports, they're not playing today, but they still have enough points. Surprisingly, Genocide, who was ahead of them, before this match, it's gone down now. This Genocide did not really have the best of time in Sanhok.
Yeah, they did not. But yeah, looking at 7Seas Esports' performance, it looks like they're slowly catching up to Marco's Gaming. If they can maybe bag another kill, they will almost be right up there with Marco's Gaming. Another chicken dinner, I meant.
But Marco's Gaming have a lot of kill points. You see, they are not just ahead in terms of placement points. They have 58 kills in total, Marcos. Everyone else somewhere in 30s.
Yeah, so they're almost double. But we have 2 more matches sort of coming up. We have Vikendi coming up next. Megastars and Team Insane both move up with the 1 chicken dinner each. But look at the kills. We've got Team Insane with 34 kills. So Team Insane doing really well, at least in the kill side of things.
Megastars with 67 kills. Insane climbed up this one with 65. Team Ecstasy and Cells fell a bit with 65 and 64 points, so they're not too far away. Orange Rock, though, they managed to get to a good amount, a good place in this map. So they climbed up a couple of spots with 56 points. Lifecraft also, amazing performance. Keep in mind that they were in danger of getting eliminated, and now that they got the 30-point jump, they have 53 points in total. Still, a long way to go from the top. Iki Mafia and AIM Gaming are now dangerously close to getting relegated.
Aztec's also slowly moving up, and so are TeamElves, but Mayhem drop in the overall standings. They've just not been having a good semifinals, and they need to step their game up and bring some of those group stages kills that they got and the positions that they got, the chicken dinners that they got in the group stages. They have so far been disappointing with just the 13 kills and the 17 placement points.
Team JSL as well. This time they were caught in a really awkward position. They tried to fight off Team 7Cs, but they did not realize that they will walk into elements as well. So yeah, even though they tried to third party the right team and capture the right position, they didn't realize that other teams are also trying to, spring the trap onto Team 7Cs.
Absolutely. So we do have Vikendi coming up next, and Vikendi is a map that does require teams to rotate again and take good placement positions. So let's see which of the teams in the group B and C will play Vikendi well.
Well, I'm expecting Mayhem to show up in Vikendi because they really like to defend their compounds, and that's essential in a map like Vikendi, where it literally is a battle for compounds. Unlike Sanhok, where you can camp out in the open, you can't do that in Vikendi.
Yeah.
But let's take a look at the kill leaders. We have Revenge Esports, who has overtaken everybody with 19 kills. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, Akshay from Revenge Esports performed unbelievably well yesterday, but let's not forget Marcos Gaming is a dude, also a very decent fragger, not too far behind from Akshay. And then let's not forget Max Cash as well. Marcos Gaming, of course, they've got some of the most amazing players so far. They've been playing really aggressively, even Pan Singh. But 7Cs Esports is also not too far behind, with 420 OP coming in with 12 kills. Avi from VSGCrawlers also 12 kills. Elements Prince, somebody that we were praising initially in the beginning of the stream today, also with 12 kills, a player that is very experienced, as you said, in the international space. And then we've got Raid coming in from Revenge Esports at 9th place with 11 kills, followed by another Team Elements player, Ultron, with 11 kills. So look, we do know that Team Elements has the fraggers. They also had Gubber. They also have Gubber, who was the kill leader for the group stages. So they have players that can really frag. They just need to work on their rotation so that they can comfortably frag from a safe distance, a safe circle, and not worry about the multiple fights that they had to take right at the end.
Yeah. I kind of like the rotation of elements in this game, actually. It's just that the timing was unfortunate. So I guess that's two of the things that they need to take care of. They already have the rotations right. Just timing is... I don't think you can predict the timing really well. It just happens. That's what the whole game is about. You either run into multiple enemies or you run into absolutely nobody and you take the position for yourself. So can't really blame them. But yes, Team Elements definitely a really strong team, at least mechanically. And so is VSGCrawlers, who have been not out-fragging, outshining, but they're always there, up there, on the top.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is PC Peasants Gaming and I'm here with Crips from Mumbai.
Hello.
And we are talking about the semi-finals today. It's PMCO 2020 Spring Split Day 3. And we have Vikendi coming up, so I'll let Crips take the lead on this one.
Well, thank you so much, Rohin. It's always wonderful when you use all these adjectives to describe me. And I don't know why you don't love Vikendi as much as I do. I mean, obviously, we have our favorites. For those of you who are wondering here, Rohin's favorite map is Miramar and mine is Vikendi. But on screen, we have Marcos and 7Cs who have a significant lead on 7Cs. Wow.
Yep. Marco's Gaming 58 kills and 7Cs Esports 33 kills. The question on my mind right now is, will 7Cs Esports actually catch up to Marco's Gaming today in day 3 of the semifinals? Yes or no? I'd like to know what the live chat also thinks.
I mean, Marcos Gaming, they are so far ahead of everyone. 7Cs, I think they have taken, the second place now? Who's on the second place? Is it them?
Yeah, 7Cs Esports is second place in the overall standings to Marco's Gaming. And they did come second in the last map of Sanhok, losing to Livecraft Esports, who finally won a chicken dinner. I believe this is their first chicken dinner in the semi-finals, and maybe their first chicken dinner in the overall spring split.
Yeah, first chicken in the overall PMCO spring split. And they're going to be feeling really happy about that. Let's be honest, they did not have the best time in the group stages. They barely made it through. And now winning a chicken dinner in the semifinals, a stage which is supposed to be harder than the group stages. So that's going to boost their morale up quite a bit.
Absolutely. Speaking of morale, let's see what these players have in store for them in Vikendi. Crips, could you just talk about Vikendi and generally the ethos and the meta of Vikendi for a bit?
So, Vikendi is similar to Miramar in one way. There's no cover over there. There's no proning down in the grass and hiding like we do in Erangel and in Sanhok. It's wide open, so you can't go prone. And most of the time, the circle does screw over a lot of teams. You see, half the time the circle is in the water. Most of the circle is in the water. That leaves very less room to play with. When the circle is fair, then the game is somewhat nice and evenly paced. Otherwise, the first circle is just a mad rush for rotations, and then the game slows down a bit. So the first circle is the most important because that's where most of the teams will rotate. Second, third, fourth circles are fine. Fifth circle onwards, the whole game starts to pick up the pace again, and that's basically the whole graph of Vikendi. First circle, great rotations. Then second, third, fourth, slow, and then everything just hits the floor. It just goes berserk after the fifth circle. Either way, the playing path is pretty even. It's not exactly in the center, but it does leave most of the map accessible to a lot of teams.
Sure, absolutely. And the map is finally on the screen with the plane path, which seems to be a pretty decent plane path, bisecting the map in half. We've got Mayhem already taking the town of...
That's Winery.
There we go. And the circle is also favoring them for the first time. Is this Mayhem's comeback?
I think it might just be. Mayhem have not been having the best of time in this semi-final, so let's see if they can make it. Elves safe in the circle in Milnar, Lifecraft in Mawatra, also safe. Iki Mafia and Towar. Ash Gamer and his team Genocide are heading towards Cement Factory, which is a wonderful location. You got good loot over there, and it's pretty close to the circle as well, so that's nice. Elements in Podvosto, also a town which is surrounded by cars, so they don't have to worry about rotations at all. The teams that are gonna be in trouble are teams like Godlike, who usually have a habit of dropping in Krichas and the other northern towns, so they're gonna have to really make their way and hustle to get into the zone. Either way, we have, I think this is Volnova on our screens right now, where Team JSL and Team Elements are fighting. No, it's not Team Elements, it's Mega and JSL who are fighting each other. And yep, it is indeed Volnova.
Indeed it is. We've got Team Mega, a team that has been performing alright so far in the semi-finals. They did not have the greatest Erangel or the greatest Sanhok for that matter, but if they can maybe get an early fight onto JSL, they will be in a better position, of course, in the scoreboard, and they could really use some kill points right now.
Definitely. And JSL usually are the kind of team who are very comfortable with early game fights. We've seen them wipe the floor with Godlike, a team which is mechanically stronger than Mega. So I think they got it covered. Aztec safe in Hot Spring. We have Team AIM uncontested in Goraka. Okay, that's weird. Usually multiple teams do drop Goraka, and this time it was right under the plane part, so I'm surprised nobody else is there. 7Cs having the time of their lives and Dobromeister, and it has plenty of vehicles around as well, so they're safe, and they probably should be able to make it into the circle without any challenges. Iki Mafia moving towards Dino Park. That's nice. I'm actually surprised if towns like Villa and Toar are not overrun already. So a lot of teams have these towns available for the taking.
Yeah, absolutely. Orange Rock is going to probably want to rotate as well as quickly as possible. M40 and Godlike are very close to each other. M40 is not going to want to take an early fight again, especially after their Sanhok massacre in the previous match.
Nobody, in fact, neither Godlike nor M40 are having a good tournament. And if these teams start fighting off against each other, no matter who wins, both of them are going to have a bad time overall in the long run. And Godlike have only 3 players. Wait, what happened over there? Did their 4th player not connect to something?
Even
Same with
Lifecraft. Yeah. Looks like there could be many reasons why these players were not allowed to join the server. Like there is that anti-cheat which you need to switch on. Obviously, sometimes in the heat of the moment, you can forget to switch on the anti-cheat and then you get booted from the server. Or maybe it's just a technical issue that we're not familiar with, and these players are not in the server, giving both their teams a one-man disadvantage. What? Even Iki Mafia? Oh, okay. Okay, so there seems to be some issue right now, and I'm surprised we haven't done a restart.
Yeah, actually, all these teams, actually 3 teams playing with lesser players, that's gotta be a concern. Not sure what the procedure is in a situation like this, but definitely we can't blame the players because so many teams are missing.
Even Godlike is missing a player. Yeah, so this is definitely like a server glitch. I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe the admins can help us out. But yeah, there we go. We've got the southern circle of the Vikendi map. We've got Team Aztec, JSL, Mega, Mayhem, Iki Mafia, Elves, all firmly in the circle right now. And looks like AIM and 7Cs Esports and ELMT Esports, Team Genocide, they're not too far away from the circle. Oh, well, 7Cs is a little bit far away. But the rotation is going to be quite difficult for Orange, Rock, Insane, and Godlike. That is a long rotation for them.
Yeah, and not to forget the fact that they can run into each other. And if they start a road war right now, that's just not worth it. And surprisingly, they all will be fighting for Villa and Tovar. How is nobody there? You see, the whole northern edge of the circle, it's so empty.
Here we go. So it looks like we got a couple of replies. Krat messaging us on the group says it's an anti-cheat issue, a tech issue. And that is why these players were not able to join. But yeah, these things happen, and it's okay. It's all right. We'll be moving on with the game anyway. We've got JSL and Mega fighting it out, trying to get an angle on each other. Fayaz, look at the position that he has. He doesn't have a helmet, but he's going for those third-person peeks. And they've spotted him.
Brilliant.
JSL had finally spotted a Mega player, and he goes for the spade on Surya. OP does a decent amount of damage on Paradox, but he gets traded by Paradox. Amazing gameplay. Oh my god, Paradox going in. Oh, he hears the res. What is he doing? He's going for the first aid.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Oh my god, he gets another knock on Fires. Beautiful as Swag enters the fray. JSL not in the greatest position. Glaive jumping out but gets knocked again. JSL falling like flies left, right and center, and it's up to Robin God, and it is over for JSL. Mega finishing them off. Mega kill. I bet most of you guys are too young to understand that, but yeah.
No, I think they still get it. Either way, I love the way how JSL initiated about Team Mega. So you see, they jumped up from the top of the buildings and landed on the top floor of the house that Mega was inside. And he was guarding the stairs. He was expecting them to come from the bottom, but one of them came from top. And he heard that. He knocked that guy out. And then the rest of them tried to follow up by coming into the stairs. But keep in mind that anyone who's playing on the stairs of the house anyone who's upstairs always has an advantage in terms of the third person angle, and he can get the better of them. Plus, he had a micro Uzi, which is like devastating in close range combat. So, JSL had a disadvantage to begin with. And then as soon as they tried to help each other out, they had players of Mega jumping out of the houses and, taking them by surprise. So that's something they were not ready for.
I'm surprised Surya OP didn't connect with Paradox, I believe, that quickly. But yeah, he just didn't connect, and JSL paid the ultimate price. Anyway, meanwhile we have Mayhem on the screen right now, a team that we're kind of rooting for because they haven't had the greatest game so far, and they were killing it in the group stages. If you guys are just joining in right now and you haven't been following the entire PMCO Spring Split, Mayhem was on top at the group stages, but Insane gets the explosion on TeamElves' rocks, and that's an insane kill, an instant kill. We're now dealing with a 4v3.
Keep in mind, Cells already had less players. Wasn't Cells one of the teams that were having only 3 players? Or was it Lifecraft and Godlike?
It was Lifecraft, Godlike, and Godlike, never mind, just lost another player to M40's rival. So right now, Godlike has 2 players, and Exist also taking a decent amount of damage from Team Elements, who are doing a drive-by on Godlike's Exist. Oh my god, this is not the game for Godlike.
Definitely not. The whole tournament has not been for them. They've been struggling all throughout. And it's not just the semifinals. They've been struggling in the group stages as well. They only managed to make it to the top 10 of the group stages in the last match. Like not even the last day, the absolute last match. That's how they survived.
Yeah, even Lifecraft for that matter. But then, hey, Lifecraft won the second match today of Sanhok. So it's not, I mean, I don't think the group stages are indicative of whether these teams will perform or not in the semifinals, because the teams that have performed in the group stages are not performing right now, and the teams that didn't perform are winning chicken dinners and getting kills. So hey, it's almost as though the roles were reversed. But we now have M40 dangerously close to Orange Rock, and let's see if Orange Rock can defend their dugout position.
Anto and Daljit both have level 3 armor. In fact, I think Anto has like all of it, level 3 armor and helmet as well. Daljit also just got an upgrade, and they have the compound to themselves, which means Orange Rock have an advantage in this fight. But Mayhem, they walk right into Elves compound and they blow up.
Cloak, oh my god, Cloak, what was he thinking? Like, why would you drive so close to a building? Like, even if you're not sure. And here we go, Shadow again driving towards Orange Rock. Mayhem not playing the best PUBG Mobile that they generally do.
Yeah, and Mayhem are in danger. M40 and Orange Rock both can fire up on them.
And looks like Atanki got a couple of knocks on Team Insane's 4th player and thirsted him. So we are now dealing with a 3v3 situation between Team Insane and Cells. MJ firing a volley of shots but not connecting.
Yeah, but they're too far away. Across the bridge, it doesn't really matter. Like, this whole fight is irrelevant unless the circle shifts and one of these teams have to cross the bridge. That's when the real danger begins. An unclaimed Groza at the extreme southern edge of the island. Nobody's going to go for that. Unless maybe the team that dropped in Winery. Was it Mayhem that dropped in Winery? They could have gone for it, but we already saw them move around the map.
Yeah, so, I'm not sure what Mayhem had planned, like why they rotated. Maybe they didn't have the loot, but they did have the circle.
What are you saying? They had amazing loot. Most of them had level 3 helmet and armor. Winery, it's one of my favorite places to drop. It has amazing loot. So I don't see any reason for Mayhem to move around unless they really want to take kills, unless they really want to get into those fights. But let's be honest, they're not participating in the fights in the right way. They're not taking it. They're not taking it right. They're not taking it safe. They keep running into teams in their cars, and the cars keep blowing up. Cloak just went out. Yeah. And he gave away his kill for free.
That's what I'm trying to understand here. What was Mayhem planning to do? I mean, they had the circle. Maybe go in for a more central spot. And that didn't work out for them. But they did have the circle, and they probably didn't have to take those risks.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going for a center approach, it makes sense when you're in the third or the fourth circle or something. I mean, in the first circle itself, the circle is still vulnerable to a lot of wild movements. You can't predict where the circle will be in the first and second one. I mean, in last game, Sanhok, it was pretty obvious that the circle will go towards the northwestern island because it was literally in the center. In this one, you still can't predict. It can still go any way. So I don't think that's this is the right time to take central positions. This is why Team Godlike also struggles a bit because they try to take central positions with their cars and building the compounds out of cars in the very first circle itself, where they don't need to, make those moves right now. Can wait. They can be a bit patient.
Yeah, a lot of these teams are just not getting the zone prediction on point and then paying a heavy price either by losing teammates early on or just not, like dying to the last circle towards the end of the game. So yeah, zone prediction has been a little off for a lot of these teams, and they will want to go back to the drawing board and rethink their strategies. Anyway, we have 7Seas Esports, the second place winners of the last match. We saw some amazing gameplay from these guys. These guys are clearly very warmed up right now, and they're getting consistent kills throughout the semifinals. So yeah, let's see how they play out this map of Vikendi.
Yep. And I have to say a few words about Final Boss. He is an amazing player, and 7Seas, I think he's one of the main reasons for the victory of his team in the last game.
Absolutely. All right, we've got
Abby, surprisingly, under contention from Elements, Icky Mafia, and M40 a little far away. They're not close, but they're definitely within spitting distance. Even Orange Rock is close to a compound of Abby. Pain, he's using the third-person angle on top of the spire as a vantage point, but I think he must have spotted a couple people of Elements.
I have to interrupt you, man. Team Elements just knocked 2 players of 7Seas Esports, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but 7Seas Esports is taking a lot of damage. So I'm sorry, TeamElves, I stand corrected, not Team Element. TeamElves got 2 knocks on 2 players from 7Seas Esports. So, hey, there's another fight happening which 7Seas is not winning.
Oh, no. I hear a couple of nades. I think they know where Nike is. Sorry, my bad. Those are some of the most common spots you can hide inside Abbey. But this position that Mighty has, this is not a common one. I guess he is the one who's going to take Elements by surprise. Meanwhile, 7Seas are all nice and safe.
Not all of them.
Rest up. Final boss is not here. And
losing one of their best players early on to TeamElves. Let's see which team goes for this Groza.
We also have one more team close to them. I think it's TeamElves, yes. And as soon as Viru jumps out, he takes a ton of damage. Nah, I don't think 7Seas is going for this. They have other priorities here.
Yeah. They're gonna have to deal with TeamElves. And hats off to Elves, like they managed to take out one of 7Seas' best players as well. And let's see what they do here.
I think this is just gonna be a long, dragged out fight. Unless one of these teams decide to push, this fight is gonna bear no fruits. It's gonna bear no kills, and it's just gonna drain the resources for both of these teams. So I guess just make a peaceful coexistence agreement and then let the circle decide what happens. Oh, no.
Avi gets a knock on Viru. Forget that peaceful coexistence scripts. I don't think these players intend to live peacefully. What a beautiful knock from an M24 and Avi looking for an angle, maybe trying to get another knock. But what happened to TeamElves' vehicle? 7Seas Esports already has 2 vehicles. They have a snowmobile and a car, but I'm not sure if TeamElves has the vehicle. So if the circle does screw them, then they're gonna have to rotate, maybe on foot.
Oh, no, that's a bad idea in Vikendi. You need vehicles. You need vehicles and you need compounds, especially in a map like Vikendi. And you can't afford to have long, dragged out fights because you see, that guy, after he took that ridiculous shot from Avi, he lost his helmet. and now he needs another helmet, which I don't think he's gonna find anytime soon.
Yeah.
So that way he has to use up his medicines, he has to lose his helmet, find new one, and it doesn't matter because elves can't finish him off. They have to push in order to finish him off. He can either easily get revived, and it's just both these teams dragging their resources down into the ground, which is gonna come and bite them in the behind later on in the final stages of the circle. Speaking of the circle, it is about to move. The third circle about to close in, and the fourth one, keep in mind, is a real bummer. It shifts drastically. That's gonna really screw things up for a lot of teams.
Yeah. But let's see what happens in Abbey. We have 3 teams here. Sorry, 2 teams here. Iki Mafia and ELMT Esports still playing chicken with each other. They do not want to commit to a fight just yet. They're very aware of each other's positions.
Yeah, definitely.
And, yeah, they're just trying to like hold angles and not make any mistakes that will cost them a lot, especially for Iki Mafia, who have only connected with 3 players to the server. So they are at a one-man disadvantage. But hey, is that M40 in the distance?
Yes, it is. Team Insane also now rotating into the circle. They were close to Winery, and they spot 7Cs moving away. Elves, they try to keep them grounded, but they fail. And 7Cs have now moved a bit far away, with only 420 OP still in the older compound. But I don't think 420 OP has a car, does he? No, he does. He does. Never mind. He has a vehicle.
And I don't
he should be
see
able to join his
any
team.
vehicles for TeamElves. They just have one busted up vehicle on the road right there. So it looks like 7Cs Esports still has the most amount of movability. They can rotate if they have to, if they're in a sticky situation.
The fourth circle has popped, and it's started shrinking as well. I would very much like to see it. I don't know if the observers can hear me. I don't think they can hear me, but yeah, it would be really nice of them to show what the circle looks like. Either way, I don't see a lot of teams in trouble. We're still seeing the same old fights, which have been stagnated for a long time. I guess Elements want to change that. Wait a second. Elements and Iki Mafia, somehow they allow him to move on to the other side. Frost has taken the edges of Abbey, and now he's going around towards the church side of Abbey. Meanwhile, Elements, they don't seem too keen to move. Mighty, he was still looking towards the hillock side of the Abbey compound, assuming that they would flank them from there, but that's not going to be the case. Meanwhile, Celts and Mega start fighting off each other. Vexy gets blown apart by Atanki, and at the same time, Insane are also taking a lot of fire. Tempest needs to get into that car and join his teammates where he's going to be safe. But Celts are now in Winery. And who are they fighting off here? Nobody. They did blow up a Mega player, but I guess that was far away.
And we have the circle on the screen finally right now. And the circle! The MVP of Vikendi has moved to protect only Lifecraft, TeamElves, and 7Cs, OP, and Aztecs. All the other teams like Mayhem, Orange Rock, AIM Gaming, M40, Iki Mafia, Elements, they all have to leave the Abbey and rotate. Let's see if we've got even Cells sort of trying to rotate slowly in. But never mind, Viru, 420 OP gets a knock on Mayhem's Shadow. They spray the car down, but the car continues moving as Mayhem leaves their player behind for the dead.
So many teams rotating in and around 7Cs. They're trying to get the kills onto Team AIM as well. At the same time, M40 is also rotating from right in front of their eyes, and 7Cs has a lot of opportunities to get a lot of kills, but they're not blowing anyone up. In fact, it's Lifecraft that blows up Team AIM, Ipman. M40 was also in their cars, do manage to get the kills onto one of the Elves player, and now this is where the trouble begins. Elves and M40 in the same compound. I don't think they're too keen on sharing. Meanwhile, Lifecraft, we finally see them connecting the shots with Team AIM. Aztecs, they steal the kill away. What? They got the third party onto Rocky, and now even Ducky has died. No, AIM Gaming, they had too many teams to worry about, and now they're on the verge of getting knocked out. At the same time, Elves are about to get stormed. Snipu, he's down. Nexus OP, he's trying to come up the stairs. Rival takes a bit of damage, but he safely makes it inside. Joins Nipu in the same house. And now Elves have the positions on 2 of the M40 players, but they can't take any action because they need to revive first. Duke desperately trying to convey the information to his teammates and hoping that he will be able to flank Elves from the other side. And here comes the nade. They're going to have to move once again. Avi almost died, but somehow survives by the skin of his teeth. Nipu also manages to heal himself up, and now they engage. Nexus OP takes a bit of damage, but no kills done yet. At the same time, Ruthless somehow survives. Rival storms into the house, but Avi knocks him out. Nexus OP gets the trade onto Avi, and Avi will be finished off. Ruthless just a bit too slow to help his teammate out. Duke trying to cover them from the outside of the house, but I don't think none of them are going to be able to. I don't think any of them are going to be able to make it. Ruthless waiting on the stairs. He knows there are his teammates around the corner, but can they hold it off? Will they be able to revive them in time? I don't think that's going to be possible. Duke finally realized he should cut his losses and he should just get out of there. They've already lost this fight, and Avi, Matt, and Nipu will be biting the dust.
Orange Rocks, Mavi going with the spray down on Icky Mafia. Mavi trying to get the kills. Yes, he does. He finishes off Mighty as well. And he's trying to thrust both these players. Look at the spray control that Mavi has. Orange Rock outside the circle right now, but they can push Icky Mafia and make their way in. Daljit also trying to get an angle. And unfortunately, Mavi's teammate... Oh, never mind. Aim Gaming finally getting eliminated by Navjot from Team Mayhem. TeamElves also taking a lot of action. M40 finally getting a knock on Zigzor. It is M40 versus 7Cs as they both trade each other. Anto also finishing off Mighty. Mayhem, insane. So many trades right now on the screen right now.
Oh, Godlike step into the fray. Exist. He manages to knock out Tempest. I'm sorry, he knocks out Legend and he finishes off Tempest. And now they're down to only 2 players. Sky should be able to revive his teammates safely. But while he's worrying about Godlike, he has to worry about the play zone as well. Exist, one of the last surviving members of Godlike, along with Smokey, are now trying to push in. At the same time, Genocide move into the fray. Here they go. This little brief moment of disengagement is everything that Insane needed to get their meds back up. They take a little fight with Team Genocide, but none of the bodies connect, although a lot of health is traded away. Meanwhile, as Insane do it, Element also jump into the fray. Genocide are getting third-partied by Team Elements now, and Insane use that time to get the hell out of there into a safer position. Oh, this could be tricky. He's using the car, moving along the edges of the circle, but he doesn't know that Mega Encore is there. I think Encore was knocked out, so he's not going to be able to do anything. But Sky loses his vehicle. Oh no, that's the worst thing that could have happened to him. It flips over. How is he going to get? How is he going to get to the safe zone now? He can't get it on foot.
That's just sad for him. I mean, that's like the worst thing that could happen to him at that point, other than getting knocked. Aztecc finishing off Exist also, and yep, murdering him. We've got Team Element also doing a lot of damage to Ash Gamer, and Team Insane has been eliminated by Lifecraft, by Mega. I stand corrected. Element Esports also getting into a fight with Team Genocide. Prince getting the knock, but Mayhem also getting multiple knocks on TeamElves. Aztecc Station sprays and he does not connect. But they still managed to finish off Megastars, and Encore bites the dust. Prince still putting the pressure on Team Genocide with the Bison. What spray control Prince has. As you rightly said, this player has experience. I mean, having played so many international games, you can see that he does have the recoil control you need for a long fight.
Definitely. Smokey, he's hiding, biding his time, while there are plenty of teams around him who continue to murder each other. Kill some, and Aztecc had the best position in the circle at one point. They had a compound, but now they're gonna have to move. At the same time, they have 2 teams next to each other. One of them is Godlike, with their last player surviving, Smokey. He's just hiding, so he's not in danger. But there is Genocide, who can definitely create a lot of problems for Team Aztec. So these three teams are going to have to somehow make their way into the circle, which is already pretty crowded. If you see at the northern edge of the circle, team number 6, which I believe, I don't know what team that is. It's too chaotic for me. But they already have the circle. One of the players outside keeping watch. Genocide losing XTD to Elements. Wow. So as if Aztecs was not a problem, they get knocked by Element, and then Satan steals that kill away from Elements. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, so Team 6 was Elements actually, and you were just asking about them. And yeah, now Aztecs are getting their vehicles, getting ready. And rotating. Here we go for the YOLO push. They see Mayhem on the left side of their screen, but they are not going for... They're going for a very central position. Oh, here we go. And they jump out. And it's... You know what? Crips, take it away.
Yeah, Aztec, they barely managed to make it into the house while they were getting fired upon by Team Mayhem. But inside the house is Team M40 and 7Cs in the same place. 420 OP manages to get the kill onto Killsome, and RB0 OP is also knocked. Spidey also down. This is a bloodbath as Aztec. That bold push from them is not going to pay off for them. 720 OP, he wants to move into the room, and he's going to finish them off. Single-handedly wiping out Team Aztecs. A triple kill for 740 OP, and he's going to be feeling so pumped up because of that.
Absolutely. 7Cs Esports is on fire from last game as well. They've got the momentum, they've got the energy. They've just got 2 players in the map right now, but it doesn't matter. 420 is playing for 3 players, and it's M40 also in the last circle along with Lifecraft and Mayhem's Believe and Navjot. But Orange
also
Rock...
Duke from Elves.
Orange Rock not too far behind. Nexus OP getting a couple of shots in. M40 needs to figure out how they're going to get in.
Yeah, meanwhile, Orange Rock are safely crawling inside. But I think M40 is just a bit too distracted. We saw them firing at Team Elements, who's far away. They don't realize the danger that is right around the corner from them, right under their noses. They have 7Cs to take care of. Duke from Elves somehow still hiding. Lifecraft and Mayhem finally start fighting in that little barn house. And that fight is going to be an interesting one, because anyone can third, fourth party into that. These guys are just smoking each other off. Lifecraft finally manages to get the knock onto Navjot, and they are fighting Believe as well. Lifecraft, Noob YTP, will single-handedly wipe out Mayhem with his Micro Uzi. A double kill for him this time.
Absolutely.
And Lifecraft have all 3 of the players alive. Wow! How are they taking so many fights yet have all their players alive? That's just brilliant. Circle moves, and it's gonna force all these teams inside the house out in the open, where Orange Rock and Elements are spreading out. So these 2 teams have a bit of an advantage. Meanwhile, Ruthless finally decides to get out of his hidey hole and starts engaging with Team 7C. Orange Rock, what? They third party into this? How is this happening? Meanwhile, Elements, who were spread apart, they finish off Icky Mafia, and M40 finally engaging with 7Cs. 7Cs has, I think, just 420 OP alive at this point, and that's going to be difficult for him to get out of here. He has to take care of M40 at the same time. Element is also there. Orange Rock chime in, and that's going to make things a bit easier as they get the knock onto Rival, and even Ruthless is down. No, wait! Ruthless was killed by Duke from Elements. He's trying to steal the kills away, and he's doing the best he can. But Nexus OP, he's taking phenomenal amounts of damage. Can he make it? No! The Playzone's going to get him. And 420 OP is down to his last first aid kit. I think this is the end of the road for
What
Team
a heal
7Cs.
off though. What a heal off from 7Cs Esports. Just outlasting TeamElves by a few seconds. He gets a couple of sprays onto Orange Rock, but they finish him off. And finally, Orange Rock in a top 3 situation. We haven't seen this in so long. It's nice to see all 4 players alive and well. And never mind, Lifecraft has also been eliminated. It is a 4v3. Let us see if Gabbar and Prince are able to make up for that one-man disadvantage that Team Element is dealing with right now.
But I love the way how both Lifecraft, -40 and 7Cs entered that heal off, because they knew they were never going to make it to the top 2. They knew that Orange Rock and Elements have a lot of players alive, so they just try to outlast each other and get the placement points that the 3rd and the 4th place provide, which isn't really a lot, but it's better than nothing. Either way, the zone is pushing Orange Rock inside, and this is the 9th circle. It's gonna zero in. No! Elements start taking a lot of plays on damage. Prince is knocked out. Even Frost is about to go down. He finally decides to get up and start running. This is where Daljit comes in. Gabbar, he does manage to get the knock onto John, but Daljit shows us exactly what he's made of. Gabbar's the last man standing in Orange Rock win. Wow!
What an amazing victory. 27 points to the Orange Rock players. That's a great jump for them. And Team Elements coming in second with, who was third? Lifecraft. So Lifecraft is back. They're really doing some damage. They're playing the rotations. They're doing a good job. You can tell that Lifecraft is a team that once they get the ball going, once they get the energy pumping, they're able to sustain it. Last game they came first place, and this game they came third place. So hey, that's a great show of force from Lifecraft. And finally, Orange Rock back in the game. All 4 players, Daljit, Mavi, and the other 2 guys whose names I'm not able to remember. Welcome back.
Daljit, Mavi, Anto,
and John, who is the MVP. Shame on me. Congratulations to Orange Rock. What a victory right there.
Yeah, but Orange Rock, you see, they were pretty silent all throughout the game. Usually, we have teams who win the chicken dinner and they end up getting like 10-something kills. Orange Rock only have like 6 or 7 at max.
I'm surprised that Team Element did not push into the circle. Like, you know, that didn't make sense. Like, why didn't they though?
I mean, they were crawling their way, but you see, the circle is zeroing in, and they were, what do I say? They didn't anticipate the speed of the circle being faster than their crawl. So by the time they decided to get on their feet and start running in, they already lost Prince.
Yeah.
And then even Gabbar was in a very bad spot by the time he decided to get up.
Yeah, if they pushed just a bit more, but they were also at a one-man disadvantage. I think it would have been a much fairer fight if there were 4 ELMT Esports players. So I don't think it's fair to say that they choked, but I just think that they were outnumbered. And we've got the top 5 players on the screen right now. We've got 7Seas Esports, 420 OP, keeping it up with 5 kills and 596 damage. Playing consistently well, even from last game. We've got Lifecraft's Noob, also pretty proud of himself with 4 kills, 349 damage. But Elements Prince with 3 kills, a whopping 725 damage. What a damage dealer right there. And then we've got Duke from Team Elves, of course, with 3 kills, and Ruthless from Team M40, surprisingly doing 3 kills as well, with 375 damage.
I thought at one point 7Seas were in a bad spot, but then the way they held that compound and the way they won the fight against Team Elves and M40, I have to give it to them. 7Seas indeed are showing up, and you were right. Once they get the ball rolling, similar with Team Lifecraft, once they get the ball rolling, once they have the momentum, they just do not stop, and that is just so amazing to watch.
Absolutely. And we've got the standings on the screen right now. Of course, Orange Rock with 27 points coming in first place. ELMT Esports not too far behind, second place with 18 points, and Lifecraft coming in third with 15. But hey, minus 40 finally coming back. The comeback is real, maybe not. But 7Seas Esports, I love how 420 just healed off while Team Elves got eliminated, securing them the 5th place position. What a beautiful play from them.
Aztecs did not really have the best time as they were caught in a very early fight. Same story goes for Team Insane and Celts as well. Iki Mafia, though, they have plenty of basement points, so I guess they were one of the teams that decided to stick it out till the end and try to stay alive for as long as possible. Genocide, on the other hand, it's been a common theme, even in the last game and in this one as well. Genocide was caught in between like 2-3 teams, and they were completely wiped out. Godlike, though, they continue to get low amount of points. They just got 1 kill in this game, which brings their total up to 2. And the absolute bottom being JSL and AIM. JSL don't need to worry. They had, I think, the top 5 position in Sanhok, so they're fine for now. But yeah, the bottom of the barrel is a bad.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Godlike, AIM Gaming, JSL, they've just not had the greatest day today. But we do have 3 more days of the semifinals to go, and so these teams can still maybe catch up. But at least they're in, let's see the overall standings, and let's see if Godlike, AIM Gaming, and JSL are in the top 16. And I think by the end of this day, if they are in the top 16 situation, then they don't have to worry too much. They can still come back.
Yeah, I guess. Either way, Marcos Gaming still on top with 130 points, and they have a very big deficit. But 7Seas Esports, they continue to chip away at them, and they're inching closer and closer. They have put a decent amount of points between them and ELMT Esports, 10 or 9 points of difference. Elements, though, after this performance, they have climbed up a couple of spots, and now they're the third one. Orange Rock also finally showing up, and now they've entered the top 8. They were hovering around the 11th or 12th position before this. So,
yeah, absolutely. The chicken dinner definitely like helped them, and those 27 juicy points pushed them way up in the ladder. But good for them. Maybe this is the beginning of the winds of change for Orange Rock. And let's look at the other teams. We've got Livecraft also climbing up the ladder after that first win in the Sanhok map, and finally also coming in third in this map. So good for them. They're right now in a slightly safe position. But Aztecc ESP just getting out of the danger zone. They will need to perform in the next and final match, which is Erangel, for them to secure their top 16 position.
Either way, I'm actually a bit concerned about Team Godlike at this point, and same goes for AIM Gaming as well. They haven't been having the best of times, and they are now in danger. Meanwhile, Mayhem and ELMT, I think I expected them to do much better. They also are in danger, but at least they got some points in this one, and they climbed up the rankings a bit. So I guess they just need to keep continuing what they're doing. And
even JSL, by the way, JSL's also gone down a notch to -40. So -40 JSL are going to want to get at least a decent placement in the next game so that they can jump a few spaces over Full Power and TeamTamilas, because it's just a matter of 2-3 points. So if these teams can actually like get a decent position, maybe a top 5 position, a couple of kills under their belt, they will be closer to the 16th standing, which is what most of these teams need to aim for.
Yeah. Semi-finals, we have 24 teams. Only 16 will make it to the finals. And that itself is a pretty tough task. We have 3 days ahead of us, and we have one more game left today. That is going to be Erangel. I guess that is the favorite map of pretty much everyone who plays PUBG. It's the classic, and it should be starting off soon after the short break, so don't go anywhere, and we will be back with Erangel. But before we go to the break, let's take a look at who are the top players. So far, Revenge from Akshay is still on 19 points, obviously because he didn't play today, and same goes with Marcos. But the fact of the matter is, these two players have so many kills that 720 OP, not 720, 420 OP from Team 7Seas, who's been on fire today, he's only on 17, and he needs a few more kills in order to get ahead of the dude and Akshay.
You know, I think he will, he's just so close. And he's on fire, like 7Seas Esports. I hope the casters jinx doesn't happen here, but like we do hope that 7Seas OP does end the day with the highest amount of kills, which should make the next couple of matches where 7Seas Esports faces off against Revenge make it an interesting face-off between these two players.
Marcos Gaming, a lot of the players are in the top 10. We have Max Cash also with 17 kills. And I think one of the players is on the other page as well. Meanwhile, we see Team Element's Prince on the 5th place with 15 kills. Now, Prince is the heavy hitter for his team, but surprisingly, he did not really climb a lot of spots. He did not really get a lot of kills in this game. So I guess he will be getting another chance in Erangel as well.
Yep. And yeah, that's about it. That was match 3. Pretty decent match. We got to see some good rotations. We got to see some YOLO pushes. And we got to see some awesome spray downs from a lot of players. 7Seas and M40. And hopefully they keep up the energy in match 4, which is Erangel. Meanwhile, we have the head-to-head stats on screen right now. We've got 7Seas Esports right now head-to-head with ELMT Esports. So both these teams are killing it. Of course, 7Seas Esports dishing out the higher amount of damage, but and the most number of headshots, but they're not too far away from each other. So let's see how the 4th match plays out for both these teams.
We saw ELMT Esports do well, not that well, but relatively well in the group stage. I mean, they were definitely better than 7Seas in the group stage, but over here, we see 7Seas is absolutely stepping it up. And this is exactly why it's such a pleasure to watch these teams play, because at one point you're gonna think that they are choking, you're gonna think that they're not having a great time, but then all of a sudden they start amping up the firepower, they start turning up the heat, and then you are just flabbergasted.
Well, let's hope that Mayhem also comes up on top. We've finally seen Orange Rock with the comeback. We do have a lot of hopes for Mayhem. They did have the greatest group stages ever, but the semi-finals have not been the greatest, and if they do not come back, at least in the last match, it is going to be a rough road to the top 16 position.
Yeah, all the top teams like Mayhem, Godlike, even M40 for that matter, and JSL, they're not having a good time in this tournament. Neither is Aztecc. For now, we have the highlights, and we will be back after a short break to take a look at some juicy frags.
And we're back already. I guess the break wasn't as long as I thought it would be. I am PC Peasants Gaming, and I have Crips here with me, my co-caster. Welcome to the
nobody
stream.
really likes long breaks. I mean, don't we all just like to just see continuous action time and time again and just get it over with quickly?
Yep, exactly. Anyway, let's talk about match 4, which is going to be Erangel, the last match for the day 3 of these semi-finals. How's the performance been so far? Who won match 1?
Huh? Wait, what? Did you just ask me who won match 1?
Yes.
Well, good to know I have short-term memory losses. I can't remember.
Wow. Wow.
Professional
casting going on here, ladies and gentlemen.
So I do remember that fight happened on the edges of the quarry compounds.
It was Team Genocide.
It was Team Genocide that won against Cells. I remember Cells being there, and I remember Cells pushing in because just after defeating Godlike, I remember that. So yeah, it was Genocide that wins game 1. Then Sanhok, we had a surprising turn of events where I thought 7Cs would win, and they were on the verge of winning, but then Lifecraft took the game away. And then came Vikendi. Vikendi, Orange Rock finally started to show up. And here we are just on the verge of starting the last game of the day, Erangel, where a lot of teams are pretty comfortable, but at the same time, the circles almost always make them uncomfortable.
And for those of you who are telling us whether Mayhem was cheating in the group stages, I highly doubt it.
No.
This is a very controlled environment, ladies and gentlemen. All the players are expected to use anti-cheats, and if they do not use the anti-cheat or if there's a tech issue, they're immediately booted from the server. Okay, we've got 7Cs Esports' 420 OP going head-to-head with Team Elements Esports' Prince. 17 kills versus 15 kills. 420 OP finally overshot him. He was a little bit behind him in the previous matches, but 420 OP was killing it. And in the last map of Vikendi, he did, of course, a heal off and secured a slightly higher position than TeamElves, who came in 6th, and 7Cs Esports came in 5th.
Yeah, also 420 OP was just able to nail down all of Team Aztecc as they tried to third party. Not even third party. Aztecc wasn't trying to third party. They were just desperately trying to get to a compound. And in that same compound, we had Mayhem, we had Godlike, we had Elements, no, not Elements, we had Elves, and we had M40. So 420 OP from 7Cs was able to just kill each and every one of those people in the compound and then also do a heal off, really carrying his team to a decent amount of points in Vikendi.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're back to Ketan on the screen right now with his bright PUBG Mobile sweatshirt. Ladies and gentlemen, will the mods just leave a link in the chat?
I don't know. Manu, the way he was smiling, that smile was brighter than his hoodie. Either way, once again on Erangel, the plane path is heavily skewed towards the south. And last time the circle was a bit of a traitor. You see, after the plane takes a southward path, most teams try to go for Novo and military base and everything. And after that, if the circle moves north, that's just cheating right there. And that happened in game 1. Let's see if it happens again.
Yes, indeed. And yep, the circles are there. I mean, not the circles, but the plane path is there, right there on the screen right now. And Mega again goes for Novo. And this time, JSL goes for military, but 7Cs Esports is going to contest military with them. Mayhem going for, I believe, should be Primosk, with Team Genocide not too far behind. Yeah, we've got also M40 going for the similar drop. All these teams going for their similar drops. Iki Mafia, of course, going for Yasnia as usual. And Team Cells going for Milta.
Godlike taking position in Pachinki. None of the teams will be going towards Georgepol. It's out of the zone. So Team AIM and Team M40, who usually do like dropping in that place, they're going to have to figure out something else. Insane. We saw them spread out over the hills close to Shelter and Prison. So usually Insane are the ones who take Georgepol Dockyard. And this time they don't have that privilege. So they're just going to spread out and hope that should be enough, because that's not an approach Insane usually takes. Insane like dropping into a city, not spreading out. So I'm not sure how comfortable they will be with this.
Well, maybe Team Insane wants to play position, so they're going to go for the vehicles, then just rotate to a safe circle. You know, a lot of these teams have not gotten the zone prediction on point so far, at least in the semifinals. So let's see if these teams can actually play this out. Anyway, we've got Viru on the screen right now, and Viru has a 7-star, so he's trying to get an angle on the JSL players. He's playing reconnaissance right now.
And he has a SKS with a really powerful scope, so he can really zoom in to his enemies. He might just spot Robin God, but no, he's getting down from that tower. It's a risky spot to be in, especially when you're away from your teammates, but looks like Robin God will be able to make a safe entrance towards the C building or the triple building, whatever you like to call it. And this triple building is basically like the main heart of the military base. It has all the nice loot. And if you just isolate the triple buildings away from the rest of military base, they both will end up having equal amounts of loot. So
JSL's Fairs is dangerously no, he rotated.
No,
and
it's not dangerous.
Never mind. We've got 7Seas Esports going for a southmost rotate, and they're going to loot these buildings right here, which also has decent amount of loot. I'm so sorry, I hiccuped. And anyway, look at that level 3 backpack. So yeah, looks like 7Seas Esports will also have pretty decent loot. They also have a vehicle, so they can loot up and rotate out of military into the safe zone.
Yep. Generator House usually does have a lot of good stuff, but not as good as the triple building that JSL was in. Either way, Viru from 7Seas is far away from his teammates, so that's a bit of a concern, because when the fighting starts, Viru will not be able to get a piece of the action. Either way, let's look at the rest of the circle. AIM Gaming heading close to Pachinki, and Godlike are already there. I think they should be able to hear each other now. Yep, they're storming the Generator House. JSL versus AIM Gaming is about to happen over here. 420 OP already priming a nade and cooking it. As soon as Surya walks into that door, he's going to have a nasty surprise waiting for him. Oh, no, it doesn't connect. And Robin God now finally knows which part of the Generator House 7Seas are in. How do they deal with it, though? They can't get the angles onto 420 OP.
I like how 420 OP has an M24 and he's playing a close quarter game.
No!
But the fires are getting hotter as these teams spray each other down. I wonder
but that
what...
nade was a mistake. That nade was a big mistake from Team JSL, and it connects.
What a nade on Robin God, and now 7Seas is going to want to look for a push here. Yep, here we go, Zigzag. Trying to get a third-person angle, but the smokes are there. Fairs throwing the smoke down, trying to get his teammate up. Viru going for the backstab. Glaive takes a lot of damage right there, and Zigzag also pushing in forward, trying to get an angle on Glaive. And final boss bites it by Surya OP, but Glaive also gets traded. Now Fayaz unfortunately pushes into 2 players, unnecessary, and it's up to Surya. Can he clutch this? He goes for the thirst on final boss. It is a 3v1 situation, and that's it.
Wow, he went prone in the smoke and he managed to knock out Zigzag. Unfortunately, it's not enough, because he was the last man standing for his team, and 7Seas will finish off JSL.
My god, what a play from the 7Seas Esports players right there. That nade which 420 OP got initially actually changed the entire battle there at military base. And now we are at Yasnia, where Lifecraft and Iki Mafia love dropping, but they never trade, they never fight. We haven't seen any early fights historically between these two teams in Yasnia. It's almost as though they have like a gentleman's agreement. They're like, hey, you know, we'll both drop here and stay away from each other. And yeah, at least all 4 players of Iki Mafia have connected.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they didn't connect all of them.
Including Lifecraft. Like Lifecraft was also 1 man down in Vikendi in the previous match.
Alright, but here's my concern. Iki Mafia, I see they have 2 cars. Now, I know... Oh, no, wait, they have 3 cars. Oh, Jesus, this is unfair. Yasna never has a lot of cars in the first place. And now that Icky Mafia have stolen most of them, 7 Seas is going to be left without any transportation.
Lifecraft, you mean?
Sorry, Lifecraft will be left without any transportation. My bad, 7 Seas was all the way in military base. Yes. I'm still thinking about that fight for some reason.
I don't blame you. And we've got Team ELMT Esports Frost now having an angle on the Megastar players. The Megastar players have not been performing the best so far in the semi-finals. But let's see what they do here as they set up what I think is a bridge camp.
Yeah, they do.
And they have no idea. They have no idea that Team Element's Frost is giving all the intel. Nope, they do know. They do know. Swag has an inkling that Frost is right there.
Yeah, in the triple story, Frost playing as the CCTV camera who keeps eyes on Team Mega. But he only sees Vexy. He won't be able to see Swag and Paradox. Also, another concern. Who is Mega even trying to gatekeep? 7 Seas are the only team who are still in military base, and they have 2 options depending on where the circle will take place next. So, it doesn't make sense to gatekeep the bridge just now. I guess Team Mega are just trying to figure out whether the circle will move towards the left or right, and that's where they will move next.
Meanwhile, Gabber and Prince, yeah, they're pushing Vexy, who definitely heard them right now. What is he doing? What is he doing? What is Vexy doing? Oh my god! I can't even. Gabber just finishing him off. Vexy probably switched off his headphones. Oh my god, Megastars are going to be regretting that loss right there.
Did Encore just jump off the top of the bridge?
I don't know what Mega is doing right now.
Genocide know exactly what they're doing as they get the knock onto Naruto. And Insane are far away from him. I don't think they're saving him. Legend has stopped in his tracks. He stopped his car. Maybe he wants to cover Naruto, but I don't think he's close enough. Nope, he's way too far away. And Genocide are in no hurry to finish off Naruto. They're just going to let him bleed. Or even worse, they will run him over. Critic does a little drive-by.
Punch him, punch him.
No, they're not that disrespectful.
Oh man, I think they should be like that. Would make for far more entertaining casts, at least for us.
Definitely. Either way, Frost decides to move away from Team Mega after keeping an eye on them for so long. And they managed to get the free kill onto Gabbar. I don't know what Gabbar was thinking right there. He's the strongest player. And, no wait, not Gabbar. Who was it? Vexy? Vexy was the one who was not paying attention?
Yeah, Vexy, I guess his headphones were switched off as Gabbar just jumped on him and took his time to finish him off. But yeah, imagine the face palming that's happening offline for Vexy. Anyway, we've got Team ELMT dealing with Team 13, I believe, which is Orange Rock. Finally, Orange Rock coming back with that win in Vikendi. Let's hope that this team can keep up the momentum that they've just developed. They've not been having the greatest semifinals as well. Ironically, all the teams that performed very well during the group stages in the Indian PMCO Spring Split haven't performed in the semifinals so far.
Yeah, and that's a recurring theme. All these teams start having trouble. So I guess they showed up all of their strategies in the group stage, and then the teams really prepared against that when they walked into the semifinals. That's like the only possible explanation I have. Or maybe
No, come on, that's just mean. A lot of these teams didn't have the circles, they didn't have the position, they lost those early fights. I don't think this is a strategy issue, Crips.
No, it's about the other underdogs preparing against them, right? Either way, that is what PUBG is all about. You sometimes do get circle screwed, but over here, this has nothing to do with the circle. It's just Insane versus Mayhem facing each other off. But what is Rocky doing there? Isn't he a bit too close?
Yeah, I gotta say,
Insane.
Team Insane has been getting a lot of decent picks in Erangel. The first match of Erangel this day 3 on the semifinals of day 3 today. They had centrally positioned themselves. They got a lot of good frags. Unfortunately, the circle did not favor them towards the end. But Team Insane is a team that seems to know how to position themselves, at least in the map of Erangel. And this may be their strongest map. And if they can maybe get the circle, they can clinch a chicken dinner for sure.
Definitely. And the circle is about to pop. The next one will be on our screens in no time. This is an AWM drop, and we did see one more AWM drop before this as well. And both of these AWM drops are really, really close by. Look at that. Godlike might just end up taking 2 AWMs, and even a circle's on top of them. So that's perfect.
Oh my
Viru,
god.
far away from his team, does manage to get the kill onto Aim Zeus. But while that's happening, Orange Rock blew up Ipman from Team AIM, so they are taking losses from 2 teams at this point.
Yep, Aztecc Esports, despite losing final boss in that early fight, are still pretty much strong contenders for winning this Erangel chicken dinner, because they have been having a great day so far. And before you guys call hacks in the chat,
No,
Aztecc Esports is a team that has historically performed quite well. Not so much in the group stages, but just generally, like over their the history of their organization. They're an organization that generally performs well. Frost goes going for the sprays, does not manage to connect. Oh, but he gets the wheels off Rocky as Rocky spins out, and Ducky needs to figure out what he does here. Team ELMT Esports not letting AIM Gaming go for the rotation. Ducky just about making it into... No, but he gets a lot of heat and he is chunked badly. Ducky needs to heal up as Rocky also goes for cover. Team ELMT Esports has decided enough is enough. Let's pick up Prince by driving over him and then push Ducky, a lone player. It's a 3v1 situation.
Yeah, but Team Elements were getting fired upon by Team Orange Rock at the same time. So Ducky, if he just manages to survive this long enough, maybe he can count upon Orange Rock or Cells to come in and fight them. But he's going to pick up the fight with Ultron first. And Ultron, with his fancy footwork, jumps around the wall and sprays Ducky down with his micro Uzi. Rocky's just watching all these teammates die from afar.
They massacred my boy.
I mean, Zeus was picked off by Orange Rock. No, wait, my bad. Zeus was picked off by Viru from 7 Seas. Ipman was picked off by Orange Rock. Ducky was picked off by Elements. And yeah, these guys are just dying to multiple teams while they continue moving around in their cars unnecessarily.
Interesting.
Team Mafia spreading out nice and cozily across the northern part of the circle. They have Genocide and Aztec close to them, but they only see Genocide at this point. They haven't seen Team Aztecs. Either way, Lifecraft is pretty safe as they have no other team next to them. And Genocide are incredibly close to Elves. So if Iki Mafia decides to start engaging with Team Genocide at this point, they are going to be in a bit of trouble. Another EWM up for grabs, and this is smack in the center of the circle.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see if any of these teams go for these AWMs. I believe Godlike did pick up one of those AWMs because they seem to be dangerously close to one, but Mayhem going for Everest? Let's see where that circle is. Oh, and the circle! Oh my god, the circle is the MVP. I request all the viewers to direct their attention to the top right-hand corner of the screen as the circle screws just about everybody except for Team Genocide, Aztec, and Elves. Meanwhile, Iki Mafia Mighty getting the knock on Noob. Team Genocide need to now figure out what they're going to do here as Iki Mafia regroup and go for the push.
Genocide have a pretty good position when it comes to the circle. If they survive this fight against Iki Mafia, they will have the advantage all throughout the game. But Iki Mafia take that spot near the shack, doesn't really matter as Neonike will still hit the floor. And now he has only one player of his team close to him. Meanwhile, Pain and Zeref are away from them. Absolutely. Now, this is a bit of an advantageous situation for Iki Mafia. No, not anymore. Genocide are going for this push. They're going to finish them off. Zeref and Pain need to come in and help their teammates out now as Critic, he will lay down the fire. Somehow still survives. DD tries to protect him to the best of his abilities, but it's not going to happen. They wipe out the 2 players of Iki Mafia, and Pain and Zeref are doing absolutely nothing. Critic has been knocked out, but it doesn't matter because DD can still revive him. It's a 4 versus 2 fight now. They have left Neonike alive. Obviously, they can't go for the thirst just yet because Pain is covering them. But if they blow up that car, that's going to be amazing.
I'm surprised they didn't go for the car explosion. Anyway, we've got Team Genocide back on the screen right now. Ash Gamer dangerously dealing pain to Pain himself as Zerif needs to figure out a way to rotate to a better position. Neonex still pretty much alive, but Blade, oh my god, they're now shooting Team Insane's Legend knocked by Team Genocide's Noob. And finally, XDD finishing off Neonex. Iki Mafia, what a dangerous situation for them. They have really taken heavy losses.
No, I don't understand. Why are they doing this? Pain, he almost connected the shots with that guy in the car.
XDD,
and he managed to make his way down into that pit. And Genocide are in a lot of trouble. XDD and Ashgame are knocked. They try to hold off Insane at the edges, but it's not going to be possible. Meanwhile, off the screen, Orange Rock just completely demolished Team Mega.
Absolutely.
Pain and Zeref use this opportunity as Insane tried to third party. Pain and Zeref are running away. They don't know that they might just end up running into Team Lifecraft.
Meanwhile,
but they still managed to get the kill. Zeref, he knocks out one of the players of Lifecraft. That's amazing. At least the rotation is safe. What they couldn't do with the fight against Genocide and Insane, they are doing to Lifecraft. So not all hope is lost yet. But the nades start flying in.
Sorry, I just had to mess with you. Team Insane throwing the nades, and oh my god, Lifecraft finishing off XDD. Team Genocide destroyed completely. And Team Insane now spotting out Lifecraft, doing a little bit of damage to them. Iki Mafia, what a beautiful disengage. I mean, they were in the thick of it and they just got out. And they're still pretty much alive. They're not too far away from Lifecraft, but hey, oh my god, never mind. It looks like Iki Mafia has been eliminated by Lifecraft. But all four Lifecraft players, I just jinxed them. I'm so sorry, Iki Mafia. If you do watch this later on, I will buy you a beer. But Villain and Lifecraft now trying to get a little bit of damage onto the Team Insane players. Crips?
Look at the circle. Insane Legend is already moving into the circle while the rest of his teammates are still there. They will come in later on. A beautiful MK14 up for grabs, but nobody's gonna come take it. Oh no, wait, as soon as I say that, Godlike move in. And keep in mind, Godlike already have an AWM. Now they have an MK14 as well, but it doesn't matter because Smokey's down. Even God Gill is down. All this nice weaponry is gonna go to waste if they die in a push like this.
Unnecessary push by Godlike. Why would you be so greedy? I don't understand. They went right in the open and now they're taking heavy casualties. Orange Rock's Mavi, by the way, getting an explosive kill on Mayhem's cloak. Finally, we're seeing two of the top teams, Orange Rock and Mayhem, fight it out. But 7Cs gets eliminated? How? Unfortunately, we missed that. It happened off screen.
And here, the AWM finally starts to chime in. Exist destroys a player from Aztecc. RB not OP already down. And now Aztecc really need to reconsider if they want to continue fighting a team with such heavy weaponry. Element, they did do quite a lot of damage from the southern parts of the hill, and now they're trying to slowly creep their way in. They have to fight Mayhem on their way in, but it doesn't really matter because Mayhem can get out of this mess anytime they want. Meanwhile, this fight between Godlike and Aztecc continues. Godlike Gale connects a nice nade and knocks out one more. Is that going to be enough though? Lifecraft engaging with Insane, and they start getting trades on each other. Insane and Celts also try to go into this fight. How many teams are even over here? There's a lot of action happening on the very edge of your screen. Lifecraft, they continue to knock out Legend as well. Even Sky is close by, but I don't think he's going to be able to revive him in time. Meanwhile, Celts, they are in the middle of the road. They have barely any cover. Aztecc somehow manages to get out of the vehicle just in time. Meanwhile, In-Gaming is eliminated somehow. Win.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just chaos on the map right now. We've still got 9 teams alive, but Team Cells is dangerously low with 1 player remaining. 3 knocked, and Godlike and Orange Rock. There we go. Orange Rock and Mayhem finally battling it out. I really want to see the winners of this fight, as Daljit, Anto and his teammates are all still alive and well. It's up to Believe and Navjot. Meanwhile, Insane knocking and getting a kill on Atanki. Lifecraft also, all 4 players invested. The circle gets smaller as Godlike finally spraying down the Lifecraft players, but getting a knock on Noob. Oh my god, Godlike finally going for the push here. They want to take that chance, get a better position, and it's up to them. Aztecs meanwhile getting eliminated. The mollies are going out. What is Godlike going to do here? Team Ultron, Team Elements getting a knock on Insane as well. Let's look for this push.
Keep in mind the TeamElves are the only team who are in the circle currently, and they're nowhere to be seen. We just see them on the very top of our screen inside a compound, and they're safe. Meanwhile, Godlike, they're getting peppered down by Lifecraft. Godlike versus Lifecraft will determine which one of these teams get to move out. And as they move in, they have to fight Team Mayhem as well, who's currently battling with Orange. There's two fights: Godlike versus Lifecraft, and Mayhem versus Orange Rock at this time.
And Godlike is decimating Lifecraft. They've already got 2 players knocked. They're gonna try to go for the push for Noob. The spray down works, and it's up to Exis to get the last. Oh, but Exis gets traded by Noob. What is Noob gonna do here? He is the last man standing for Lifecraft. And Smokey gets the kill. Beautiful. Godlike clinches the victory against Lifecraft. Lifecraft eliminated. Meanwhile, we've got Orange Rock and also Mayhem fighting against each other. And Team Cells and Insane as well.
Yeah. Orange Rock are creeping up on the compound. Meanwhile, Mayhem decide to not creep. They just decide to storm it. Now Mayhem is going to be engaged in a battle with Elves. They already have the knock onto Duke, and they're continuing to go upstairs. His teammate jumps down the stairs. It is Nipu. He tried to get the angle on to Believe, but Believe with the barrel M762 is laying down so much punishment. He has a knocked out player right next to him, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Believe also is close by, and at one point Elves were the safest. Now they are in danger. Elements, they're trying to also nade these guys to oblivion. Then the nades connect. Gupper and Prince both managed to knock out 3 players of Orange Rock. John also gets sprayed down by Prince. It's all up to Mavi. He's the last standing player for Orange Rock, and he has so much work to do.
Oh my god. Mavi managed to get the knock and almost the thirst on Prince, but he's getting revived. Orange Rock is eliminated. What a beautiful elimination from Team Element right there. They just sprayed them down with bullets and nades. Amazing gameplay from them. Now Godlike getting the push on Elves. It's up to Matt and Avi. It's a 2v4 situation in that squad house. And Mayhem not too far away in the same vicinity. We've got 5 teams remaining. Crips?
Imagine if Mayhem just decide to third party into this fight right now. They've thrown smokes on the doorway of the first floor, so Godlike can't use the third person angles to their advantage. But the nades start coming in, and who's gonna bite the dust first? Matt? He's outside on the balcony, so he's safe. This is not the player they will focus on first. They're going to focus on his teammate who is inside that little storeroom over there.
And the
they
push.
decide to go in, and while they're distracted, Avi tries to finish them off. He gets a knock onto Smokey. Avi also gets the knock onto one more player. Matt finally hits the dust, but it doesn't really matter. It's all up to Avi, and he's continuing to deal damage with the AK-47. He thirsts Gil. Finally, it's Exist who puts us out of his misery, but that doesn't really matter. Mayhem have already captured the other house, and they're ready to third party in on this fight, and they've got the timing down to perfection. That nade will not do anything. It's in the wrong room.
Yes.
Exist and Carry have the time to revive each other.
My god, that was a great last stand from Team Elves right there, and both those players are amazing. They managed to make a 4v2 into a 2v0, but hey, not bad. They've just made the comeback for Godlike a little harder, and let's see if Godlike can now survive the rotation through Mayhem. It's now Godlike versus Mayhem on the screen right now, and with Team ELMT Esports firmly in the circle, all 4 players alive and well.
Yeah, but Elements have the zone upon them. So Elements not only have more players and the zone upon them, even though they don't have cover, it's fine because they're gonna have to wait for Godlike and Mayhem to move in. Carry tries to desperately go into the smoke, but doesn't matter because Ultron will find him, and it's all up to Exist. They're almost connecting the bullets with him through the smoke, and Exist doesn't have a lot of cover over here.
Ultron.
Carry already down. Now Joth making a bold push with the buggy towards that little airdrop box, but he gets knocked out by Prince. That was a foolish move. Believe does whatever he can. He finishes off Exist, getting as many points as possible because he knows there's no way he's going to be able to win this 1v4 against Team Elements.
It's okay, Mayhem finally coming back. They've had the roughest semifinals so far, and it's nice to see them at least in a top 3 situation. And I'm sure they're not going to be feeling pretty bad. In fact, Believe is going to want to died with the play zone, never mind. Frost takes him out. And
Yeah,
ELMT Esports, first place with crazy 16 kills. 16
God.
kills to Team ELMT Esports. That is a huge bump of points for them. Mayhem coming in second. And of course, Godlike, a good comeback from Godlike, coming in third place. What an amazing Erangel map. We've had a pretty boring bunch of matches today, if you don't mind me saying so, Crips. But that last match, I think, made up for all the other matches today.
Yeah, and did you notice the one thing about that last match? All the top teams started to make a comeback. You
Yeah.
had Mayhem, they managed to come in second place. Godlike also did a good job by dealing with TeamElves. And all the teams who were struggling, all the top teams who were actually never supposed to struggle in the first place, start making a comeback. And even though MVP is Ultron, I still kinda like the fact that Godlike really pushed Elves well. And Godlike was fighting with Lifecraft first. They managed to survive with a few players remaining, and then they decided to wipe out Team Elves as well.
Yeah,
So
so
even though Ultron is the official MVP, I would probably give it to Godlike in this one.
yeah, so we'll give Godlike the most valuable team and let Ultron keep his MVP, because 7 kills with 1000 plus damage, that is a force to reckon with, and I wouldn't want to take that away from him. Team ELMT
Definitely
Esports did everything correctly. Like, they had the position, they had the circle, they picked the right amount of fights. The amount of damage, of course, Mayhem, what Element did to Orange Rock, which was spectacular. Those nades were amazing. It was just a hail of nades. I mean, even though Mavi managed to get a knock on Prince towards the end, Element Esports came out on top with all 4 players. So kudos to them. Top 5 players: Ultron with 7 kills, 1000 plus damage. Team Elements Prince coming in second with 5 kills, 1000 plus damage. What amazing damage they've dealt out this game. Believe finally Mayhem coming back third place with 3 kills. Of course, Orange Rock also making the comeback with 3 kills in fourth place, and Orange Rock's Daljit coming back in fifth place with 3 kills. So you're right, Orange Rock is finally performing like the way they used to perform in the group stages. So is Mayhem. So yeah, the teams that did well in the group stages are finally making their comeback, and that's good for all the viewers and the casters, because that just means more interesting PUBG Mobile for all of us.
Definitely. And as the competition heats up, we are done with day 3. We still have 3 more days left in the semi-final stage of PMCO Spring Split Indian qualifiers. So let's take a look at the standings of this game. ELMT Esports with a massive number of kills, 16. Oh, get out of here. That's just way too much. 36 points for them. Mayhem finally coming in second place. They were in a tough spot, but they made the best of what they had. Godlike also mounting a comeback. So does Orange Rock, and they come in with 17 and 13 points respectively. TeamElves could not survive the onslaught of Godlike, but I wouldn't give them any trouble about it because Elves have been doing rather well. Cells and Lifecraft also impressed me today.
Absolutely. 7Seas Esports, again, a team that performed really well initially today with the first 3 matches. Unfortunately, they just didn't have a great fourth game, but that's okay. Overall, I think they did really well, and I'm sure they're going to be ending their Saturday night with a couple of beers and a party, so that just to celebrate their performance today. Team Genocide, Iki Mafia, not bad, but not that great. Team Genocide, unfortunately, choking that fight with Iki Mafia. Not sure what happened there, but it happened, and they did pay the ultimate price. It was a ballsy push, but Insane came and messed things up for them.
Oh yeah, if Insane hadn't interfered, I think Genocide could have easily wiped the floor with the Iki Mafia. Because you see, after Genocide made that push and finished off their 2 teammates, Zeref and Pain from Iki Mafia just ran away. And it wouldn't have been possible if Intense never interfered, because Genocide was busy fighting Intense. That's how the Iki Mafia players just went away.
I'm gonna have to interrupt you there. Finally, somebody is overtaking Marcos Gaming in the overall standings. ELMT Esports with 74 placement points and 57 kills, just 1 point ahead of Marcos Gaming, and 7Seas Esports going a little bit below in the standings from 2nd place to 3rd place, but that's okay. They're still below Marcos Gaming with 112 points. Orange Rock finally in a top 5 situation with 96 total points, 33 total kills. Orange Rock, I can say, is safely back. And let's not forget, of course, VSGCrawlers, UMExRxN, Fnatic. They're still sort of defending their positions because Orange Rock has jumped up, but we will see how these teams perform in the coming days. Team Genocide, of course, 8th position with that chicken dinner. Good for them.
Yeah, but Genocide could have done much better in this game, though. Either way, not a problem because they're still in the top 8. Cells and Lifecraft also moved up, and they continue to do so. Both of these teams have been having an amazing day. Lifecraft especially. Insane and Revenge and Megastars. Even though we're not seeing them play today, they have racked up a decent amount of points, so that even when they don't play, they should be pretty safe. Ecstasy, Icky Mafia, and Godlike, though. Icky Mafia, Godlike, they did really well in this one, and Godlike is out of danger. They're in the 16th place now, but Mayhem and Elvis still in danger.
Icky Mafia won the Erangel map yesterday, and Godlike are finally in the safe area, but Mayhem and TeamElves slowly moving up. I do expect a lot more from Mayhem in the coming days, and minus 40 JSL, minus 40 going up by a placement, but you know, still not impressive performance from them. Hopefully they'll be able to mount a comeback, and JSL needs to really worry about their placement in the overall standings, coming in last. With,
This one, JSL seemed to get knocked out. They landed in military base instead of Pochinki, which is their usual spot. So I guess they were a bit uncomfortable landing in military, and they paid the price for it.
Yeah, yes, indeed they did. Well, thank you so much for watching. This has been the English cast of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split. This is day 3 of the semifinals. I'm PC Peasants Gaming, and I'm from Chennai, and my co-caster here, Crips, is from Mumbai. And we do hope you were enjoying the cast.
Yeah. The two gentlemen you saw on your screen just before this are Krat and Ketan, who are sitting in the Delhi studios. But enough about ourselves. Let's focus on the people who are really the entertainers of today. And it's the players, the kill leaders. Prince overtakes everybody. Of course he does. Elements won the chicken dinner, and now he's on 20 kills. 70's also impressive performance as 420 OP leads the charge with 19. Akshay, who did not even play today, still has a decent amount of kills, 19. Meanwhile, Marcos Gaming, the dude, also with the same amount of kills. Both these players, Akshay and Dude, did not play today, but still they have a higher, good amount of kills and damage in their kitty. 420 OP crossing the 4,000 damage mark. Wow.
You said kitty, so I started smiling.
Kitty. Although I think you are a dog person, aren't you?
Yeah, pretty much. And we've got Marcos Gaming coming in with 6th position with Max Cash or Max Ash, whatever you want to say, 17 kills. Orange Rocks Mavi with 15 kills coming in at 7th place. Naruto from Team Insane with 14 kills. Pan Singh from Marcos Gaming again coming in 9th place with 13 kills, and RV from VSGCrawlers. We saw some great gameplay from RV yesterday in Miramar's match with 12 kills coming in 10th place. So these are the kill leaders, and yeah, let's see how this plays out in the next 3 days. I do expect some of these players to move up. I do expect Mavi, of course, to move up in the ranks because, you know, he did kill it in the group stages. And I'm quite impressed with Marcos Gaming. I mean, they didn't have the greatest group stage games, but right now in the semifinals, you can see the pressure, the aggression, the momentum, the speed. You know where I'm going with this. But yeah, Marcos Gaming is killing it, and they're now going to want to retake their first place position, which they just lost to ELMT Esports.
Yeah, and the fact of the matter is almost every player of Marcos Gaming. Wait, not even almost every player. Literally every player of Marcos Gaming is in the top 10 players. So you have a team full of superstars right there.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we do hope you enjoyed the matches today. We will be back tomorrow as well. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button. And you can also follow us on social media. I'm PC Peasants Gaming. And Crips, what is your social media? Are you even on social media?
Of course I am. My Instagram handle is Cripscasts. On your screen are two lovely gentlemen. Yeah, you can see they are also just trying to plug in their socials while we do the same. Either way, you know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe for more quality PUBG Mobile esports action, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good night, guys.